Chapter 1091 was one of the unrivaled heroes. Run. Run away from the West Gate. We're finished. We're going to die soon. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Aw, get out of the way. Don't crowd around. Get out of the way. My child. My child. When Jin Qianyuan and the others flew over from the East Gate, they saw that the place was in chaos. The people who had gathered at the East Gate were waiting for the result. At this moment of despair, some people wanted to escape, some hugged their heads and cried, and some wanted to find their loved ones. Chaos! Chaos! Some people were pushed to the ground, and some people's children and loved ones were pushed away by the crowd. Boom! Boom! Right at this moment, the sound of the city gate colliding was heard. The violent sound of the collision seemed to have hit everyone's heart. The array formation was trembling, and the entire Holy See town was trembling. Everyone calmed down. Jin Qianyuan's expression was extremely unsightly when he saw this situation, and he hurriedly shouted. However, when his voice rang out, it didn't cause the slightest ripple, and the area below was still in chaos. At this moment, many people had already sunk into fear. Bang! All of a sudden, there was a loud sound from the city gate, and a large hole was directly opened. In Holy See Town, one could see the densely packed ferocious beasts outside. Ah, the city gate has been broken. The city gate has been broken. The ferocious beasts are coming in. They are coming in. Hurry up and escape. The sudden opening of a large hole in the city gate once again caused all the people to shout out in fear, and one by one, they desperately wanted to escape into the distance. However, there were too many people, completely blocking everyone. Some people even jumped up and stepped on the heads of people as they fled into the distance. Not good. Cracks have appeared in the array formation. Jin Qianyuan and the others looked at the broken city gate with fear on their faces and despair in their eyes. Wah. Ah, my daughter. As the crowd fled, a woman holding a girl was pushed to the ground. The woman was knocked away and the little girl fell to the ground. The people behind her were still squeezing on the ground. The little girl felt her legs being stepped on and started crying. Boom! At this moment, a terrifying pressure suddenly enveloped everyone. Everyone's body stiffened and even their breathing became sluggish. Their figures instantly became smaller. Little sister, are you all right? Wang Xian floated in the air and looked at the cute girl with a ponytail who was lying on the ground. He waved his arm gently and held her hand as they floated in the air. What's the situation? The people of Shanghai town who were enveloped by the powerful pressure revealed a look of fear. Some of them raised their heads in shock. Everyone, don't panic. Shanghai town has not been destroyed yet. Hope has not been destroyed yet. Wang Xian, who was floating in the sky, shouted in a deep voice. His voice entered everyone's ears like thunder. Everyone was stunned. They raised their heads and looked at Wang Xian, who was in the sky. The president of the Jin Ganyuan and the Employment Association was slightly stunned. He looked at Wang Xian with a look of astonishment. It's not that the ferocious beasts and demonic beasts outside cannot be resisted. With me and Mayor Jin around, we didn't escape. We didn't give up. This battle is worth fighting. Escaping will only lead to death. There is still hope in this battle. Everyone, all the strong ones, follow me and continue to defend. Protect your homes and protect your loved ones. Wang Xian looked down at everyone and shouted in a deep voice. Bang, bang. Crash. At this moment, the ferocious beasts outside the city seemed to have sensed resistance. There was an intense sound coming from the city gate. The city gate, which was more than 200 meters wide and dozens of meters tall, broke open, revealing the densely packed ferocious beasts outside. Their eyes revealed a bloodthirsty glow as they looked at everyone in Shanghai town. Everyone looked over hurriedly. At this moment, the people who had stabilized Wang Xian's heart started to panic again. If you don't want to die, don't want your home to be destroyed, and don't want your loved ones to die, then let's fight. Let's fight. This battle is worth fighting. Wang Xian saw the broken city gate and waved his arm. The fire dragon bead that had been nurtured all this was covered with terrifying flames. The fire dragon bead was only at level 5 transcendence. It could not amplify his attack at all. However, Wang Xian did not want to amplify it. The fire dragon bead flew towards the city gate and instantly turned into a fire god dragon that was 20 to 30 meters in size. The fire dragon god rushed out from the city gate and attacked the ferocious beasts at the city gate. The powerful flames caused all the ferocious beasts at the city gate to die. The shocking attack shocked everyone in Shanghai town. Commander Wang is a powerhouse. He is not a member of Shanghai town, but he is fighting for us. Are we going to run away in a panic now? Running away will lead to unexpected death. Only by fighting can we survive. Even if we die, we must protect our homes and family. All the citizens of Holy See Town, follow me. Jin Qianyuan, fight! Jin Qianyuan was grateful and excited when he saw Wang Xian making a move. He roared loudly, fight! The president of the Mercenary Association and the rest who were beside Jin Qianyuan shouted loudly, fight! Fight! Even the mayor didn't escape. We are a bunch of people who are about to die. Why should we run? Fight, even if it means death. Fight, even if it means death, we will die gloriously. The eyes of the young, middle-aged, and old men in Shanghai town gradually became firm as they shouted loudly. Everyone return to the city wall immediately and fight. Wang Xian roared loudly. With a gentle wave of his arm, the girl flew directly to her mother's side. He looked outside the city gate and saw many ferocious beasts surging towards the city gate once again. Fight! Wang Xian smiled and transformed into a ray of light. Boom! He rushed over from the city gate. His entire body was emitting blazing flames. The phantom of the fire god dragon appeared around him and rotated around him, making him look extremely majestic. Wang Xian rushed out of the city gate and immediately saw the countless ferocious beasts around him. He also saw the group of ants that were about to die as they hovered in the air like kings. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the group of demonic beasts. His demonic eyes were filled with coldness. Today, I will show you what it means to rule the world. Wang Xian flew into the air. Dragon transformation. Roar. A majestic roar sounded in the sky above Shanghai town. A 35-meter-long fire dragon with flames burning all over its body appeared in front of everyone. This was the first time Wang Xian fought with the body of a divine dragon in front of everyone's eyes. Boom! The pressure of a divine dragon instantly filled the area in front of the east gate of Shanghai town. Below, all the wandering sirens below Transcendent Level 7 were lying on the ground, trembling. This was the suppression of the powerful divine dragon, the ruler of the ocean. Chapter 1092. He was the unrivaled hero. Roar. The roar of a dragon represented the arrival of Wang Xian on this supernatural continent. Below, more than 100,000 ferocious beasts were trembling. The dragon's might covered an area of 5 kilometers. Here, all the wandering sea monsters below level 7 of the supernatural realm were lying on the ground, not daring to move. At this moment, through the broken door, everyone in Shanghai town saw this scene and revealed a shocked expression. Everyone held their breaths. The noisy east door was now silent, along with the silent, ferocious beasts outside. The entire world seemed to have quieted down. Mom, is he the unrivaled hero? At this moment, the little girl who was saved by Wang Xian widened her eyes and asked in a tender voice as she looked at the majestic dragon god. Yes, he is an unrivaled hero. He is the unrivaled hero of our Holy See town. The little girl's mother's eyes were bloodshot as she looked outside with tears in her eyes. A person flew out and transformed into a powerful creature to suppress all the ferocious beasts. He was the savior of everyone in Holy See Town. He was their unrivaled hero. What kind of bloodline is this? How can it be so powerful that it can transform into the appearance of a demon beast? When a powerful bloodline is cultivated to the peak, it can indeed transform part of one's body into a demon beast. However, it is very rare to see someone who has completely transformed into a demon beast with a bloodline like this in the Transcendence continent. Could it be that Commander Wang is from the demon beast clan? No, the aura on his body is that of a human. Qian Yuan mumbled to himself. Sensing Wang Xian's terrifying aura, his body gradually became excited. All the soldiers of the Holy See Town follow the king's command and fight together. Fight! Fight! A roar was heard. Seeing the powerful Wang Xian, the entire Holy See Town was filled with hope once again. Let's fight it out with them today. It's either life or death. Fuck, son, you stay here. If your father dies, don't be sad. Be a man and protect your mother and your sister in the future. Haha, so this unparalleled hero is Commander Wang. Let's fight. All the Transcendents above level 1 in Shanghai Town flew to the city wall. The battle continued. The flames of war had been ignited. This time no one would escape unless they died. Roar, roar, roar. Outside the city, sensing the terrifying pressure from Wang Xian, the eyes of the 33 blood savage beasts at a few kilometers away slowly revealed a solemn expression. In the middle of the city, a demonic beast let out a roar. Its ferocious voice spread throughout the entire Shanghai town. Fight! However, the response this time was the roar of everyone on the walls of Shanghai town. Their arrogant expressions gradually turned cold. Roar, roar, roar. A half-step void interpretation level demonic beast let out another roar. The wandering sea demons that were not within the range of Wang Xian's pressure headed straight for Wang Xian. The transcendent level 7 demonic beasts were also heading towards Wang Xian. In an instant, tens of thousands of roaming sea monsters charged at Wang Xian from behind. However, none of the roaming sea monsters that were within the range of Wang Xian's aura dared to attack him. They lay there trembling. When the 33 blood barbaric demon beasts saw this scene, a solemn expression appeared on their faces. Wang Xian, who was floating in the air, heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the roaming sea monsters were aquatic creatures. They were of a lower level than him, so he could control them directly. Looking at the dozens of supernatural level 7 wandering sea demons and a few level 8 and level 9 ones that were attacking him, the flames on Wang Xian's body trembled. Roar, roar, roar. The wandering sea demons that were within his area of control suddenly moved. They attacked the group of high-level wandering sea demons in a frenzy. The sudden attack and the attacks of 70,000 to 80,000 sea demons that were fearless of death caught the high-level sea demons that were charging over completely unprepared. They had never expected that their own kind, subordinates that were lower in level than them, would suddenly attack them. In an instant, dozens of high-level wandering sea monsters were covered by tens of thousands of sea monsters. Roar, roar, roar. The dozens of sea monsters were caught unprepared by the sudden attack. In an instant, 7 to 8 of them were heavily injured and drowned in the group of fierce beasts. The other ferocious beasts hurriedly fled in fear. Seeing this scene, all the people of Holy See Town who were standing on the city wall were stunned. One person was able to suppress more than 100,000 ferocious beasts. Moreover, those high-level ferocious beasts wanted to attack, but they were actually attacked by those suppressed ferocious beasts. This was simply one person defending the entire East Gate. Commander Wang is helping us defend the city gate by himself? This is too terrifying. This is too cool. Is the creature commander Wang transformed into a demon beast? Or is this a powerful divine ability of Commander Wang? Is Commander Wang the one who killed the son of the Ocean Cultivator Corps general? The Ocean Cultivator Corps still wants to kill him? That's right, it's this Commander Wang. Fuck him. The Ocean Cultivator Corps gave us up, and the kingdom gave us up. Instead, Commander Wang is fighting with us. What the fuck is this king? This time I can survive. There's no shit Star Moon Kingdom, only Lord Wang. That's right, as long as we can survive, I'm willing to do anything for Lord Wang. Everyone on the city wall became excited. Their army had abandoned him, and their country had abandoned them. A person that their army wanted to kill was fighting alongside them, helping them protect their last hope. Everyone swore in their hearts that if they survived this time, they would be willing to do anything for them. This was because Lord Wang had saved their lives. Most importantly, he had saved the lives of their entire family and protected their home. This is what a real home is like. Back when Shilai Town was attacked, the mayor had run away, and all the important people had run away. Sigh. I hope we can defend it and build a better Holy See town together in the future. The refugees who fled from Shilai Town to Holy See Town felt sorrowful when they saw the scene. There was hope in their eyes, as well as hope for the future. With the mayor who fought with them, and Lord Wang who fought against thousands of soldiers alone, they would feel at ease in the future. Roar. At this moment, the 33 demonic beasts behind them could no longer sit still when they saw the scene. They let out a roar and headed straight for Wang Xian's position. One of the demonic beasts stood in the void with a cold gaze. The other 32 demonic beasts charged straight at Wang Xian. A terrifying dark energy that made one's heart palpitate was emitted from their bodies. Their bodies turned into streaks of blood shadows. Wang Xian's pupils contracted slightly as a solemn expression appeared in his eyes. 4 half-step void interpretation experts. Even he had to treat them seriously. Roar. He roared and spewed out a terrifying flame from his mouth. The battle had begun. Chapter 1093. Strange demons appeared. Boom! A violent collision sound rang out at the east gate of the Transcendence continent. The sound of an explosion reverberated throughout the entire sky. 32 blood-savage demonic beasts charged at Wang Xian. The powerful black fog collided with the flames. Charge! Wang Xian's body trembled. The tens of thousands of wandering sea demons that were under his control charged at the blood-savage demonic beasts without any fear of death. Beasts, you are courting death. When the 32 blood-barbaric demon beasts saw the ferocious beasts that were under their control attacking them, they revealed a furious expression. Their bodies shook as they attacked the wandering sea monsters with their blood demon claws. Among the 32 blood-barbaric demon beasts, the weakest one had the strength of a level 8 extraordinary. Under their combined attacks, the terrifying power tore apart the bodies of the wandering sea monsters in an instant. In an instant, fresh blood dyed the ground red. The blood on the ground had already started to thicken, and the ground was already covered with the corpses of the beasts. Hiss! What a terrifying blood-savage demonic beast! Can Lord Wang withstand it? Everyone looked shocked when they saw the 32 blood-savage demonic beasts killing tens of thousands of wandering sea monsters in an instant. It was too brutal and terrifying. We have to share some of the burden with Lord Wang. Otherwise, we will be finished once he is in danger. Jin Qianyuan, who was standing on the city wall, said in a deep voice. Roar! However, at this moment, the blood demon beasts who had been standing at the back and did not make a move suddenly roared. The 50,000 to 60,000 wandering sea demons who were not under Wang Xian's control suddenly circled around 5 kilometers away from Wang Xian and attacked the Holy See town. Be careful! The ferocious beasts are circling around us. Get ready for battle. Sir Wang Xian has already blocked most of the attacks for us. If we can't hold on any longer, we will be useless. The president of the hiring association roared loudly with battle intent in his eyes. Yes, fight. We must not lose. Everyone roared with battle intent. At this moment, everyone unleashed 200% of their strength. At this distance, coupled with the fact that the group of blood-savage demonic beasts are all of the darkness attribute, even the people on the city wall wouldn't be able to see them when the strange demon attacked. Wang Xian looked ahead. 32 blood-savage demonic beasts were slaughtering the wandering sea demons at a rapid speed. These group of ferocious beasts below level 7 could kill hundreds or even thousands of them with a single strike. Especially for the 4 half-step void interpretation existences, they were even more ferocious. Unless there were 8 or 9 half-step void interpretation humans or void interpretation masters, it would be extremely difficult to kill the 4 half-step void interpretation demonic beasts. Wang Xian hovered in the sky and did not make a move. He waited quietly. Since you dare to interfere in the affairs of our blood barbarian demonic beasts, I shall use your blood as a sacrifice today. Ha ha ha. One by one, the blood barbarian demonic beasts slaughtered the wandering sea demons under Wang Xian's control. They were closing in on him at a terrifying speed. Wang Xian smiled faintly. There was a hint of mockery in his eyes. Do it! His heart skipped a beat. He looked at the blood barbarian demonic beast that was pointing its sharp claws at him. A teasing look appeared on his face. Buzz! 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 At this moment, a light that suddenly appeared beside the group of blood-savage beasts that were hunting the wandering beasts. The light that contained a terrifying power that seemed to be able to pierce through space. The moment the strange beasts appeared, all the blood-savage beasts revealed terrified expressions. Blood flow. The few blood-savage beasts roared in unison as streams of blood flowed out from their bodies. Of light explosion. However, at this moment, the strange demonic beast's supernatural ability had arrived. Of light explosion was the strongest single-target attack. Coupled with a piercing pupil, the strongest attack landed on the vital points of the blood barbarian demonic beast. Boom! The sound of an explosion was heard instantly. Ah! In an instant, a miserable scream was heard. You want to kill me? The face of the half-step void interpretation blood barbarian demonic beast, who was pointing at Wang Xian from afar, sank. The black fog and blood fog around its body caused the AO demonic beast to reveal itself. Its sharp head emitted a blood-red sharp thorn. The sharp thorn emitted a dark red glow and was extremely deep. Blood shadow penetration. It was not only this half-step void interpretation demonic beast that reacted. There were 7 to 8 other blood barbarian demonic beasts that reacted in time and immediately counterattacked the strange demon. Blood shadow penetration was a single target attack similar to the dot explosion. It possessed unparalleled penetration and attack power. The release of the blood shadow penetration divine ability caused the few strange demons to lose the opportunity to release the divine ability dot explosion. However, none of the strange demons panicked. A hint of disdain flashed in Ao Yao's eyes. He thought that he had dodged their assassination, but the real killing intent had just begun. Light and dark void. Ao Yao's body trembled slightly as the blood shadow penetrated through Ao Yao's body. Light and dark dot explosion. Void. Light dot explosion. The other strange demons also released the same divine ability. Void, for a short moment, was immune to all attacks. This was a very heaven-defying divine ability. During the period of Void, they were invincible. When the Void passed, the moment the blood barbarian demon beast was shocked, killing intent came. No, the half-step Void interpretation level blood barbarian demon beast showed fear on its face. and its eyes were filled with panic as it roared loudly. Boom! 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 Roar! 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 The sounds of explosions and screams were immediately recalled. Even if the blood barbarian demonic beast didn't die at the first instance, it was instantly followed by the strange demon, and its last chance of survival was cut off. In just a short second, 21 blood barbarian demonic beasts died, including one half-step void interpretation level existence. Roar! Wang Xian roared. The flames on his body rose and covered the entire area. He moved. Roar, roar. Kill them. Kill them all. The leader of the blood barbaric demonic beasts, who was standing at the back, was stunned. Clearly, he did not expect that terrifying creatures would suddenly appear and directly assassinate their 21 clansmen. Out of the 21 clansmen, none of them escaped. At this moment, he could not hold it in any longer. He moved his body and charged towards Wang Xian. I'll leave the rest to you guys. Ao Yao will take care of the other 4 half-step void interpretation demonic beasts. Wang Xian's 35-meter tall body swept his tail towards one of the demonic beasts. The demonic beast still wanted to put up a desperate fight. Its body flew backward rapidly. Whoosh! Bang! At this moment, a half-step void interpretation demonic beast appeared on Wang Xian's body. The sharp claws in its hands pierced towards the dragon scale. However, the dragon scales, which were comparable to a half-step void interpretation defensive weapon, only left behind a few scars. You've ruined our plan. I, the blood barbarian, will definitely kill you. A cold and emotionless voice rang out. Instantly, thousands of figures materialized and attacked Wang Xian at the same time. Divine Dragon's fire tail. The light and dark fire dragon's eyes locked onto one of the bodies. Wang Xian's dragon tail was like lava. The flames were restrained and swept out directly. Chapter 1094, Void Interpretation. Boom! The fire tail of the divine dragon was a supernatural ability that Wang Xian had comprehended when he was at Transcendent Level 7. His attack required the help of the body of the divine dragon. With the terrifying fire attribute energy coupled with his powerful physical body, he was able to unleash his attack. When Wang Xian's attack landed on the blood shadow, the leader of the blood barbaric demon beast's expression changed slightly. His body moved and turned into a blood mist. The blood mist attached to the dragon's tail and produced a sizzling sound. Drops of fresh blood fell to the ground. The leader of the 3-meter-long blood barbarians flashed and stared at Wang Xian with a cold gaze. Leader, the group of demonic beasts hiding in the void is very terrifying. The other 3 half-step void interpretation blood barbarians appeared beside him and spoke with a terrified expression. 20 figures that were emitting light and a powerful creature that was emitting light and darkness had actually killed 21 of their comrades in an instant. Among them, 20 were at Transcendent Level 9, and 1 was at half-step void interpretation. This made their hearts palpitate. They were 100% certain of death. They can only unleash a terrifying killing intent in an instant. There's no need to be afraid. The eyes of the leader of the blood barbarians flickered as he scanned the surroundings of Wang Xian. After killing 21 terrifying creatures, they immediately vanished into the void and prepared for a second assassination attempt. Set up the blood barbarian space. The leader of the blood barbarians trembled as red and black energy was emitted from his body. His 2 sharp claws trembled slightly. Blood bugs were swimming around. The other 3 blood barbarians released the same attack. The red and black space immediately covered an area of 4 to 5 kilometers. The darkness attribute still wants to defend against Ao Yao's assassination. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a hint of mockery. His body moved, and his swaying body attacked them directly. Whoosh! 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 In the space, streams of blood bugs charged towards Wang Xian's body. However, this attack did not leave any traces. Roar! The dragon soared and roared. Wang Xian's entire body was covered in flames. His dragon tail swept across and immediately dispersed the red and black areas in the area. 4 half-step, void, interpretation, demonic beasts appeared in 4 directions and attacked him in an instant. Boom! Wang Xian's body trembled as he used his dragon tail and dragon claws to meet them. Buzz! In the air, Ao Yao appeared beside a blood barbarian demonic beast. That blood barbarian demonic beast hurriedly dodged. After witnessing Ao Yao killing a companion of the same level in an instant, this blood barbarian demonic beast would not give Ao Yao any chance. Wang Xian was no match for 4 half-step void interpretation demonic beasts alone. Even if he were to face 3 of them, he would be in great danger. Fortunately, he had Ao Yao Yao by his side to restrain them. He could definitely restrain 2 of them. Ah! At this moment, the screams of the blood barbaric demonic beasts could be heard from the surroundings. There were a total of 33 blood barbaric demonic beasts. After 21 of them were killed by the strange demon, there were only 12 of them. 4 half-step void interpretation demonic beasts were fighting against Wang Xian. There were another 8 of them. Those 8 demonic beasts were completely slaughtered by the 20 strange demonic beasts. In less than a minute, the 8 blood barbarian demonic beasts were dead. This infuriated the leader of the blood barbarian demonic beasts. His attacks were also getting more and more explosive. I heard the blood barbarian demonic beast screaming from afar. Commander Wang is killing them. We can't hold them back. Kill them. Kill, kill. With Sir Wang around, we have a great chance of defending our home. At the city wall, everyone was shouting excitedly. In the distance, Commander Wang was slaughtering the blood demon beasts. At the bottom of the city wall, they were also slaughtering the wandering sea demons. There were only tens of thousands of wandering sea demons. With the number of these beasts, Holy Sea Town could easily deal with them. In fact, it was even very easy. Victory was right in front of their eyes. Everyone was extremely excited. The battle continued. 20 strange beasts joined the battle between Wang Xian and the rest. Although they only had the combat strength of an extraordinary level 9, with 20 of them, they could still threaten a half-step void interpretation level blood barbarian beast. This caused their battle to be in a stalemate. It was difficult for Wang Xian to kill them, and it was also difficult for them to kill Wang Xian. However, he was not in a hurry. When Ao Yao Yao and his supernatural powers could be unleashed again, he would have a great chance to kill one of them. Moreover, the sustained combat strength of the divine dragon was far superior to these blood barbarian demonic beasts. As long as he was exhausted, he would definitely not lose. Roar, roar, roar. After fighting for more than 10 minutes, Wang Xian's body was left with scars that were 1 to 2 meters long. These scars were not fatal. There were also scars on the bodies of the 4 half-step void interpretation blood barbarian demonic beasts. The entire battle was extremely intense. Damn you guys. I was hunting humans to advance to the void interpretation stage, but I was stopped by you bunch of damn creatures. Your crimes are unforgivable. I want to kill all of you. I want to avenge my dead subordinates. All of a sudden, the leader of the blood barbaric demon beast moved and distanced himself from Wang Xian by 2,000 meters. It stared at Wang Xian with a ferocious gaze and growled in a low voice. You want to kill millions of humans. The ones who deserve to die are all of you. Wang Xian stared the leader of the blood barbaric demon beast with his ice-cold dragon eyes. A mouthful of dragon flames shot toward another blood barbaric demon beast in front of him. Devour! The eyes of the leader of the blood barbaric demon beasts slowly turned blood red. His eyes were filled with madness and violence as he roared loudly. King, no, don't we? When he finished his sentence, the other 3 blood, barbaric demon beasts suddenly revealed a look of horror. Come here and give up your lives. We will avenge you. I will slaughter everyone here. I will slaughter all of them. The leader of the blood savage beast roared. He raised his head and his entire chest started to move. Hiss! A tearing sound was heard. His chest suddenly split open, revealing a cavity full of blood. The blood on his chest started to move and slowly turned into a mouth. I will sacrifice myself for the king. A blood-savage beast's eyes revealed despair. His body trembled as he flew over and entered the blood-red mouth on his chest. Ah! Sacrifice for the king! Sacrifice for the king! The other 2 blood, barbarian demonic beasts also flew over while trembling as they roared loudly. I swear on my blood that I will slaughter everyone here, especially you. The leader of the blood barbarian demonic beasts stared at Wang Xian abruptly. Hee. A horrifying voice came out of its mouth. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. Gold crack void. Without the slightest hesitation, he directly released the metal attribute divine ability, gold crack void. Buzz. At this moment, the red and black energy that pervaded the surroundings slowly shrank into the body of the leader of the blood barbaric demon beasts. The powerful attack of Gold Crack Void was directly blocked by the red and black energy. The 3 blood barbaric demon beasts were swallowed by the ferocious mouth on its chest, and the red-black energy slowly entered its body. Its aura, its blood, its violence, and its darkness increased at an astonishing speed. It was about to break through. A demon beast at the profound void tier. Chapter 1095, Final Choice. Terrifying energy condensed in front of Holy Sea Town. Within a radius of 5 kilometers, the black-red energy and the palm-sized blood, bug-like energy slowly converged into the body of the leader of the blood barbaric demon beasts. The aura rose and the energy rose. Within a radius of 100 kilometers, it was as dazzling as a blazing meteorite. Only an existence at the insightful void tier was able to release such power. He wants to break through. Attack! We can't let him break through. Wang Xian's expression changed drastically when he saw the leader of the blood barbarian demonic beast, whose aura was constantly increasing. He hurriedly shouted, "Roar!" He let out an angry roar and flew over directly. The terrifying dragon tail flew towards the blood barbarian demonic beast with a piercing sound. Boom! The immense force landed beside the leader of the blood barbarian demonic beast, but it was blocked by the dark red energy. Whoosh! 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 The group of strange demonic beasts flickered with white light spots. However, when they were 10 meters away from the blood barbarian demonic beast, they were blocked outside. They were completely unable to break through the defense outside. None of you can escape. All of you must die. All of you must die. He. The blood barbarian demonic beast stared at Wang Xian and the rest and let out a horrified voice. I will devour all of your blood and avenge my men. Oh no. Wang Xian had a serious look on his face as his facial expression changed drastically. He had attacked more than 10 times consecutively, but the defense in front of the blood barbarian demonic beast did not budge at all. It could not be broken at all. We are in big trouble. Beads of cold sweat trickled down Wang Xian's face. He hesitated for a moment before flying directly towards the city wall. In front of the city gate, after the golden swordfish and the rest helped to kill the wandering sea demons, tens of thousands of sea demons were almost wiped out. However, the people of Shanghai town weren't excited at all. They could also sense the terrifying scene in front of them. The bloody and brutal aura had already reached them, making it difficult for them to breathe. What's going on? Why is that bloody demonic beast emitting such a terrifying aura? What happened? Could it be an accident? Everyone looked at the distant city wall and asked in astonishment. Jin Qianyuan also looked up. His pupils contracted slightly as he had a bad feeling. Wang Xian returned to his human form and flew to the city wall in a hurry. Sir Wang, Commander Wang, what happened? That demonic beast, why is it so terrifying? On the city wall, everyone saw him flying over and shouted loudly. When they saw Wang Xian's embarrassed expression, they were shocked and asked fearfully. Boom! At this moment, a muffled sound came from the front. Oh my God, what is this? That demonic beast is about to break through. Everyone looked over immediately and suddenly realized that the sky in front of them had turned dark. The sky was not filled with dark clouds. Instead, it was covered by a terrifying dark energy. Half of the sky was emitting a terrifying energy. This dark energy was like a black cloud that was pressing down on the city. It was as if it wanted to completely destroy the town of Shanghai. That demonic beast is about to break through. It is about to break through the void interpretation. An old man could not help but exclaim in surprise. His voice caused everyone to be dumbstruck. Their faces were filled with astonishment. Everyone on the city wall had their eyes focused on Wang Xian. They wanted an answer. Their eyes were filled with desire. Just now, they had already experienced despair. It was Wang Xian who single-handedly defended against a group of terrifying demonic beasts. Seeing that they were about to win and survive, a demonic beast was about to make a breakthrough. Once it made a breakthrough, it would become an insightful void level existence. An existence at the insightful void level was something that even Donghai City had to deal with all their might. How could they, Shanghai Town, fight against it? Even if Lord Wang was here, they couldn't see any hope. It is going to break through. Jin Qianyuan's voice was trembling. He stared into the distance, his eyes full of despair. What? A half-step, profound, void, tear demon beast is going to break through? Is the heaven going to destroy our holy sea town? No, under Lord Wang's leadership, we are about to succeed in defending the city. Damn the heavens, we are not resigned. The heavens want us to die, hee. When everyone around heard the mayor's words, their faces revealed helplessness and anger. Hope was right in front of them, but the heavens wanted them to die. How could they deal with a profound void tear, demonic beast? Boom, boom, boom. Hee, humans in front. All of you will die in a moment. At this moment, the energy in the distant sky was even more terrifying. The dark energy that blocked half of the sky was poured directly into the head of the leader of the blood, barbaric, demonic beasts. This time, the blood, barbaric, demonic beasts attacked the city for a large amount of fresh blood. They controlled the beasts to attack the city so that they could absorb the blood of the dead beasts. The fresh blood of humans could also be absorbed so that it could break through to the half-step void interpretation realm. However, the appearance of Wang Xian had completely disrupted their plans. What a terrifying power! Everyone looked over in horror and despair. The entire Shanghai town fell silent once again. This time, there was no panic or exclamations. There was only helplessness. If the heavens wanted to destroy them, what could they do? Mayor Jin, get everyone to give me all the elixirs in their hands. There might be one last way. Wang Xian said to Jin Qianyuan with a sullen face. What? Commander Wang, you have another way? Jin Qianyuan was slightly taken aback. He quickly asked Wang Xian. The few people standing at the side also looked at him hopefully. If we have enough pills, we can avoid this crisis. Wang Xian said directly. He looked at the blood, barbarian, demonic beast that was breaking through and said, "We have to be quick. It's about to break through." All right. Jin Qianyuan and the rest nodded their heads immediately. Their bodies moved and they levitated into the sky. They immediately shouted loudly, "Everyone, take out all the pills in your hands." Commander Wang has a way to help everyone through this crisis. Hurry up, hurry up. A way? We still have a way. Commander Wang said that if he has a way, he definitely has a way. I believe in Commander Wang. These are all my medicinal pills. In any case, nothing will belong to me after I die. Everyone, quickly take out the medicinal pills. I believe in Commander Wang. We will naturally obey Commander Wang's words. Take out all of them. Everyone was slightly stunned. A faint light appeared in their eyes. They did not ask any further and immediately took out all of the medicinal pills. They believed that if anyone could save them at this moment, only Commander Wang would be able to do so. They believed unconditionally. I wonder if it's enough. Wang Xian looked at the items in the treasure vault in his mind and frowned slightly. However, at this moment there was only this last method. Chapter 1096. 5 Elements Formation. Everyone take out your pills. Take them all out. I have a transcendent tier 3 pill here. I have it here. I have it too, I have it too. I hope Commander Wang can help us get through this crisis. Lord Wang has already helped us enough. Even if we fail, we will not blame Lord Wang. In Holy Sea Town, Jin Qinyuan and a few experts of Holy Sea Town floated in the air and took the pills one by one. They didn't know what use the pills were for Commander Wang, but as long as they obeyed, it would be over. At this time, only Lord Wang could be trusted. I hope all the pills in our pill workshop can help Lord Wang. And the pills in our pill workshop. Lord Wang, do you want spirit stones? I have a lot of spirit stones. I have herbs here. They took out all the pills and spirit herbs that were usually extremely precious to them. They moved very fast. Soon, more than 100,000 pills were taken out in the entire Sacred Sea Town. All of these were the accumulation of the entire Sacred Sea Town. Even Jin Qianyuan and the rest took out all the pills in their interspatial rings. Outside the city wall, terrifying dark energy entered the body of the blood barbarian demon beast. This was the first time Wang Xian saw a breakthrough of a void interpretation expert. This terrifying power was almost 100 times stronger than a half-step void interpretation expert. Even 100 half-step void interpretation experts could not defeat a void interpretation expert. After breaking through to the void interpretation realm, the divine ability would undergo a terrifying evolution. At that time, it would no longer be called a divine ability, but a Dharma idol. Moreover, after breaking through to the void interpretation realm, the divine ability comprehended by the transcendence could be easily used. In the past, using it once would take half an hour to recover. After reaching the void interpretation realm, it would only take about 5 minutes. Moreover, breaking through to the void interpretation realm was to transform the divine ability into a Dharma idol. The power of the Dharma idol was incomparably terrifying. An insightful emptiness realm expert could easily destroy a town. The palpitating power outside made everyone in Holy Sea Town feel helpless. All they could do was to look at the young man standing on the city wall. That was their only hope of surviving. A half-step Abhijna city guarding formation can't withstand it at all. I need at least 5 of them. Wang Xian looked at the items in the system's Dragon King's treasure house. Now that he was in the extraordinary realm, he could only exchange for extraordinary items. However, the only thing that could defend the Holy Sea Town was the city guarding formation. Sir Wang, the elixirs are here. These are the elixirs and spiritual herbs that everyone in the Holy Sea Town has. They are all here. I wonder if they are enough. Jin Qianyuan flew to Wang Xian's side and said to him nervously, I want to activate something. If the elixirs are not enough, I have no choice. Wang Xian took a glance at Jin Qianyuan and flew into the sky. Everyone looked at Wang Xian, but no one said a word. In front of them was the abyss. Above them was their hope. So many, it should be enough. Standing thousands of meters high in the sky, Wang Xian looked at the pills in his interspatial ring. A smile appeared on his face. He didn't expect the entire Shanghai town to be able to produce so many pills. It seemed that the more people there were, the more power there was. No one would hide their pills. Wang Xian poured all of them into his mouth. The pills entered his stomach one by one and immediately turned into dragon energy. Ding! Consume the pills. Host's dragon energy has increased by 500,000 dragon crystals. Ding! Ding! Consume the pills. Host's dragon energy has increased by 800,000 dragon crystals. Ding! Ding! Consume the pills. Host's dragon energy has increased by 1,000,000 dragon crystals. One by one, the pills entered his stomach. In the end, there was an increase of 1,010,000 dragon crystals. That's enough. There's still another 10,000 dragon crystals. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with excitement as he heaved a sigh of relief. At this moment, an excited and cold voice rang out, causing Wang Xian to feel a chill in his heart. Not good, it has made a breakthrough. It's a void interpretation demonic beast. A void interpretation demonic beast. It's over, it's over. Below, the people of Shanghai town looked over hurriedly. They saw a 7 to 8 meter-sized beast with 2 black sharp claws. Its arms were filled with ferocious teeth. A 10-meter-long tail appeared on its back. It was filled with demonic qi. Within a radius of 1,000 meters, a monstrous, bloody smell rushed into the clouds. The terror of the void interpretation demonic beast was fully displayed. It smiled excitedly and stared in the direction of Holy See Town with cold eyes. At this moment, it slightly raised its head and slowly raised its arm, pointing at Holy See Town in the air. The black energy instantly condensed into a 1,000-meter-long death spear. It gently pointed at the distance of about 5,000 meters. The black death spear streaked a black light in the air and instantly landed on Holy See Town. Boom! The sound of a collision rang out, and the entire Holy See Town began to tremble violently. Crack, 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 crack. In the sky, the water element array let out the sound of glass shattering. It could be seen with the naked eye that the array was slowly cracking. Bang! In the end, the array completely dissipated. It was only one attack, and it was 5,000 meters away. Everyone in Holy See Town was stunned. Some people couldn't help but sit up. Kiki, all humans, prepare to die. The leader of the blood savage beast revealed an excited and ferocious expression. With a strange cry, its body moved and directly rushed towards Holy See Town. His arm slowly grew longer, and the densely packed teeth on his arm were gnawing on it. Whoosh! He waved his arm, and streams of blood mist quickly spread towards Holy See Town. It's over. On the city wall, seeing the void interpretation experts rushing over, everyone couldn't help but close their eyes. They were waiting for death. Wang. Right at this moment, they suddenly felt the surrounding air turn cold, and the blood mist was completely blocked outside. Everyone was slightly shocked. They raised their heads and looked over hurriedly. A blue array had surrounded the entire Holy See Town. It's Lord Wang. Their hearts jolted as hope reappeared in their eyes. Do you think a half-step void interpretation city protection array can stop me? The leader of the blood barbarian demonic beasts' cold voice was heard. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Wang Xian, who was 1,000 meters above the Holy See Town. Buzz! However, under his gaze, the green energy in Wang Xian's arm was spreading rapidly. It completely overlapped with the blue water energy. When the leader of the blood barbarian demonic beast saw another half-step void interpretation level formation, a bloodthirsty look appeared in his eyes. I swear, I will let you die in pain. He stared at Wang Xian and spoke one sentence after another. A hint of mockery appeared on Wang Xian's face as he moved his arm again. A fiery red light screen appeared. This was not the end. It followed closely behind the earthen yellow light screen. Finally, it was the golden light screen. Buzz! The entire Holy See quaked before it stabilized completely. The strongest formation of the Transcendence level, the 5 Elements formation, was activated. Let me die in pain. Beast, come and kill me. A provocative voice sounded. Chapter 1097 has been defended. Let me die in pain. Beast, come and kill me. When Wang Xian said this, he gave the leader of the blood barbarian demon beast a middle finger with a face full of disdain. Wang Xian's voice reverberated throughout the entire Shanghai town. The blood barbarian demon beast that was charging over was also slightly stunned. Although he didn't know what Wang Xian meant by giving the middle finger, he could feel the intense provocation. You want to stop me with a half-step void interpretation level formation? Break it. The leader of the blood barbarian demonic beast was furious. He swung his sharp claws in the direction of Shanghai town. He was the leader of the demonic beast. He had just advanced to the void interpretation level and became the king of the demonic beasts. An extraordinary, and dared to provoke him. He swore to devour this human one bite at a time. Wang Xian floated in the air and looked at the leader of the blood barbarian demonic beasts with a smile on his face. All the people in the Holy See town looked at the leader of the blood barbarian demonic beasts. Boom! Crack, crack, crack. Crack, crack, crack. Time seemed to have stopped. When the attack of the leader of the blood barbarian demonic beasts reached the Holy See town, a blue water element formation appeared. The array slowly cracked and directly shattered. Then the wood element array appeared. However, the wood element array still slowly cracked and shattered under its attack. When the two arrays were shattered, everyone found it difficult to breathe. However, when its attack landed on the third array, the fire element array directly blocked its attack. Only then did everyone heave a sigh of relief. Kiki kid, you're about to die. The leader of the blood barbaric demon beast revealed a bloodthirsty and excited expression. 2 arrays had been broken. At most, 2 attacks would break them all. Not good. There are only 5 arrays in total. The people of Holy See Town also realized this, and their faces turned pale again. Boom! Under everyone's eyes, the blood-savage beast, which looked like a life-reaping devil, once again attacked the array formation with all its strength. Boom! Crack, crack, crack. Crack, 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 crack. However, this time, the water element array formation was broken, and the wood element array formation was broken. The attack was easily blocked by the fire-shaped array formation. What's going on? The leader of the blood barbarian demonic beast was slightly stunned. A look of astonishment appeared on his face. Break for me. His sharp voice resounded across the sky. The tail on his back carried a terrifying dark energy as it landed on the 5-element formation once again. The third time was the same. The broken water element formation and wood element formation appeared once again. 5-element formation. The 5 elements are born together. The 5 elements are fused together, and the 5 elements are combined as one. Unless the 5 formations are directly broken, there is no way to break the formation. Although the formation is only at the half-step void interpretation level. Do you think a beast who has just broken through can break the 5 formations together? Haha. Wang Xian laughed and said to the blood barbarian demon beast, this formation was a low-level formation stored in the Dragon King's treasure house. To the Dragon King, this formation was very low-level. It was also because of the uniqueness of the 5 elements formation that he kept it in his treasure house. The 5 elements formation was difficult to break without the strength of a 3rd-level void interpretation. It was definitely the best formation in the Transcendence realm. No, it's impossible. The leader of the blood barbaric demon beast roared with blood-red eyes. The continuous attacks landed on the 5 elements array. However, it was useless. Roar, roar, roar. This made the leader of the blood barbaric demon beast extremely furious. He roared angrily. Great, great. Ha ha ha. We've defended it, we've defended it. Thank you, Lord Wang. Thank you, Lord Wang. Ah, we've defended it, we've defended it. However, the anger of the leader of the blood barbaric demon beast caused everyone in Holy See Town to roar in excitement. What? We've defended it? We've defended it. Lord Wang has created a very powerful formation. Lord Wang said that only a powerhouse above level 3 of the Void interpretation realm can break it. That beast outside can't break the formation at all. That's great. That's great. We survived. Thank you, Lord Wang Xian. Slowly, the situation at the city gate spread to the back. Soon, it spread to the entire Shanghai town. This made 700,000 to 800,000 people cry tears of joy. All of them shouted excitedly. For a moment, the entire Shanghai town was in an uproar. Even if half of the 700,000 to 800,000 people shouted at the same time, it was still like a tsunami. Everyone was venting out the depression and despair of the past few days in excitement. Today, they could finally settle down and defend Shanghai town. Thank you, Sir Wang Xian, for helping us to defend Shanghai town. Thank you for saving the lives of 1,700,000 to 800,000 people in Shanghai town. At the position of the city wall, Jin Shenyuan bowed to Wang Xian with excitement. Thank you, Sir Wang Xian, for saving my life. Around the city wall, a group of soldiers who were guarding the city knelt on the ground and shouted respectfully. Thank you, Sir Wang Xian, for saving my life. Below, a group of people knelt down slowly and shouted with gratitude on their faces. When they saw the people in front kneeling down to express their gratitude, the people behind immediately followed. In an instant, their voices reverberated throughout the entire Shanghai town. Thank you, Sir Wang Xian, for saving my life. How did it feel to have 1,000,000 people kneeling down to him? This was the first time Wang Xian felt 1,000,000 people kneeling down to him, respectfully, reverently, and gratefully. This made him slightly stunned. A bitter smile appeared on his face as he shook his head slowly. All of you get up. Mayor Jin, continue with the operation of Shanghai town and settle down all the citizens. In addition, the array can only be used to get out. No one is allowed to come in. No one is allowed to go out. As he spoke, his eyes were filled with smiles as he looked at the blood-savage beast leader who was standing outside the array with a furious expression. At this moment, the blood-savage beast leader was so furious that it almost wanted to go crazy, especially when it saw the excited expressions of the humans in front of it. There was also the mocking look on that fellow's face. He attacked the formation more than 10 times in a row in a frenzy. However, it was still useless. This made him want to go crazy. I will accept the corpses of the ferocious beasts that you brought along and the corpses of your blood, barbaric, demon, beast clan, with a smile. Wang Xian looked at the furious leader of the blood, barbaric, demon, beast, and said with a smile on his face, Roar. It was slightly stunned when it heard Wang Xian's words. Then it quickly turned its head around. When it saw that the carcasses of the beasts had completely disappeared, it was completely stunned. Roar, roar, roar. Human, you damn human. Roar, roar, roar. I'm going to kill you. I, the blood barbarian, will not become a demon if I don't kill you. When he saw that there wasn't a single corpse of the beasts behind him, he started to attack the formation with his claws. He was about to cry. He was a demon beast of the profound void tier. He was so angry that he almost cried. Chapter 1098. I'll give you a city. The blood, barbaric, demon, beast clan controlled the fierce beasts and went to the human towns to massacre the cities in order to obtain a large amount of fresh blood. They managed to control 8 or 9 fierce beast clans with great difficulty and broke into Shilai town. In the end, they were not prepared enough for the first time, and more than half of the humans escaped. This made their harvest not very satisfactory, and the leader of the blood barbaric demon beast was also unable to break through to the insightful emptiness realm. Now that they had made a perfect plan to attack Holy Sea Town, a human had suddenly appeared and led a group of strange demon beasts to kill most of their clansmen. Under the circumstances, they could only devour their own kind in order to evolve. In order to kill the guy who had obstructed them and devour more than 1 million people of Holy Sea Town. However, he had not expected this situation. Moreover, what made him most furious was that the corpses of the fierce beasts were also gone. These dead ferocious beasts were also a huge source of energy for the blood barbarian demon beast. However, even the final corpses were gone. This made its eyes extremely red. It could not accept this outcome. Wang Xian laughed mockingly when he heard the words of the blood barbarian demon beast. Earlier on, he had asked Ao Yao to bring the corpses of the ferocious beasts in the spirit storage bag. The main reason why he came here was for these corpses. There were hundreds of thousands of corpses on the ground. Some of them were at the half-step void interpretation realm, and there were also dozens of those at the level of level 9 of transcendence. This was simply a huge amount of resources. Wang Xian did not dare to imagine what level more than 3,000 members of the Dragon Palace would be able to reach if these corpses were converted into dragon blood in the dragon transformation pool. At the very least, they would be able to reach the level of level 4 or 5 of transcendence, right? It would be easy for them to nurture a few transcendent level 7 or 8. Blood barbarian demon beast, go to hell. You still want to kill Lord Wang? Dream on. Beast, go to hell. You will never be able to enter and never be able to kill us. The words of the blood barbarian demon beast displeased everyone in Shanghai town. Damn it, he actually dared to say that he wanted to kill our savior. He was simply courting death. No, although we can't beat you, but you can't come in. We can scold you. The people of Holy Sea Town immediately turned into big haters and cursed at the blood barbarian demon beast. While cursing at them, they were secretly happy. Cursing at the demon beast of the profound void tier was still very enjoyable. Roar. Finally, the blood barbarian demon beast roared and flew into the sky. Die, 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 die. All of you have to die. I don't believe that all of you won't come out. The leader of the blood barbarian demonic beast hid in the dark clouds. He stared at Shanghai town with a ferocious and twisted expression. He wanted to wait here. Once someone came out, he would eat them up. Everyone, settle your own matters. Wang Xian glanced at the blood barbarian demonic beast hiding in the sky and shouted loudly. Yes, sir. Everyone below hurriedly responded. Everyone, settle your own matters. Everyone, do not leave the city for the time being. Jin Qianyuan roared loudly in the sky once again, and the news spread throughout the entire Shanghai town. Everyone walked towards their respective residences with the joy of having survived a calamity. Meanwhile, the citizens who had fled from Shilai town returned to their temporary residences with smiles on their faces. Sir Wang Xian, that demonic beast might not have left yet. It will be troublesome if it keeps guarding here. Jin Qianyuan looked at Wang Xian and walked over. Now, even he addressed Wang Xian as Sir. Just call me Wang Xian. If it wants to wait for us in the vicinity, let it wait. I will take care of it in the future. Wang Xian smiled and said nonchalantly, All right, I will go and settle some matters in the city first. I will let Lu Yan bring you back to the mayor's residence first. Jin Qianyuan smiled and said, All right, you can go and do your work first. Wang Xian nodded his head. With a move of his body, he and Jin Luyan flew towards the mayor's residence. After fighting for so long, even he felt a little tired. It seems like I will have to ask Feng Wan to deal with the blood barbarian demonic beast in the sky. Wang Xian came to the mayor's residence and took a look at the leader of the bloody savage demonic beast in the sky. He thought to himself, Wang Xian, I'll pour you some tea. Jin Lian looked at Wang Xian and walked into the room to prepare some hot tea with a face full of admiration. Thank you. Wang Xian smiled and took out his communication stone plate to contact Feng Wan. He and Feng Wan had only been separated for a few days. However, with the strength of the old lady, they should have returned to the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. When are you coming to Star Moon Kingdom? When are you going to attack Donghai City? Wang Xian sat on a chair and sent a message through the communication stone plate. The internal part of the communication stone plate was a formation. Unless there was a special place to block the formation, they could communicate directly. After sending the message, Wang Xian saw Jin Lian handing him a cup of tea. Take a break, our unrivaled hero, she said with a smile. Thank you. Wang Xian nodded his head faintly. However, at this moment in the Fiery Cloud mountain range, there was an extremely huge volcanic mountain range. It was a volcano that was hundreds of kilometers long. Many of the volcanoes were still emitting flames, and the temperature could reach up to 100 degrees Celsius. This was the holy land of the Fire Lark tribe. At this moment, in the middle of a volcano that was tens of thousands of meters tall, there was a holy palace. In a room in the Fire Cloud Sparrow Sacred Hall, Feng Wan frowned as she looked at the information in front of her. Is the information accurate? Her expression was somewhat unsightly as she slowly asked, Empress, there can't be any mistakes. The king of Star Moon Kingdom broke through to the 4th level of the Profound Void realm not long ago. Star Moon Kingdom has been hiding this information all along. The old woman nodded and said affirmatively. After hesitating for a moment, she looked at her. Empress, why don't we wait a few years? After a few years, even if we occupy a city in Star Moon Kingdom, we can still resist the Star Moon Kingdom's army. A few years. Feng Wan was slightly helpless. She originally wanted to directly take down EC City and use it as a foundation to slowly develop. However, there were some problems now. The Star Moon Kingdom's king's strength had broken through and reached the 4th rank of the Profound Void realm. The Fire Cloud Sparrow clan absolutely could not make a move against her current subordinates because once they revealed any traces, they would be in danger. Besides the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan, he also had 3 subordinates with decent strength. 2 were at the 2nd level of the Void Interpretation realm, and 1 was at the 3rd level of the Void Interpretation realm. Originally, Star Moon Kingdom's king was only an expert at the 3rd level of the Void Interpretation realm. After taking down EC City, even if Star Moon Kingdom's army came to attack, they would still be able to resist. But now, Star Moon Kingdom's king had broken through. If the king personally led the expedition, then they would be completely unable to resist. After all, Star Moon Kingdom only had 10 cities. It was impossible for Star Moon Kingdom to give up 1 city just because they wanted to. Secondly, there was the issue of the people's hearts. Although this world was a world of experts, if one wanted to develop a kingdom and allow it to develop rapidly, there was a very important issue. That was the people's hearts. The people's hearts were blood that flowed endlessly. If one lost the people's hearts, even if experts appeared, they would not be loyal to the kingdom. What use would that be? The second point was a big problem for her. She did not expect that even the first point was a huge problem. She could not take down EC City. Chapter 1099, To Give You a City. It was not as easy as it seemed to be to establish a country and expand its territory. A powerful country would not be able to prosper unless it had been settled for a long time. The foundation of a country was very important. A country could only become more and more powerful if it had an endless stream of talents and experts. If one wanted to attract experts and talents, One first had to win the hearts of the people. A country without the hearts of the people wouldn't be able to go far, especially in a country like the transcendent continent where demonic beasts and fierce beasts roamed freely. A few years is too long. A few years is already enough to build a city. Feng Wan looked at the information in front of her and muttered, "Empress, if you want to build a city, the manpower and material resources required are a huge amount of wealth. In addition, when the time comes, you have to attract people to live here." As the old woman spoke, she looked at Feng Wan and hesitated for a moment before continuing, "Empress, you are too anxious." "Yes, I am too anxious. How can it be so easy to build a dynasty?" Feng Wan smiled self-deprecatingly. He knew that he was too anxious. "Who?" Lightly exhaling, Feng Wan slowly stood up and looked outside. Buzz, buzz. At this moment, she sensed the information on the communication stone plate. With a move of her arm, the communication stone plate on the table flew into her hand. "When are you coming to Star Moon Kingdom? When are you going to attack Donghai City?" When she saw Wang Xian's message, she shook her head helplessly and replied immediately, "Something has happened. I might have to wait for a few years." Huh. At this moment, Wang Xian, who was sitting in the mayor's residence of Shanghai Town, was slightly stunned when he saw the message sent by Feng Wan. "Looks like you can't do it. You can only take down a city after a few years. If you were to establish a kingdom, wouldn't it take more than 10 years? Wouldn't it take decades to overthrow the Phoenix dynasty?" He joked a little. "That's right. It might take decades, or even hundreds of years." Feng Wan replied faintly, "Why didn't you take down Donghai City? Why did you change your plan?" Wang Xian became serious and asked curiously, "I'm not strong enough." Feng Wan didn't hide anything and replied directly, "Not strong enough." Wang Xian looked at her last sentence and raised his eyebrows slightly. "It's not that Feng Wan doesn't want to take it down, but it's because I'm not strong enough? That's right. I can't use the strength of the Fire Lark tribe." Wang Xian was deep in thought. "Sir Wang Xian." At this moment, the mayor, Jin Ganyuan, the president of the Employment Association, and a few other experts walked in. They greeted Wang Xian respectfully. Wang Xian raised his head and nodded his head faintly. "Mayor Jin, our Shanghai town can't accommodate so many citizens. We have to think of a way to build a house. Otherwise, there will be 400,000 to 500,000 people without a place to live." A few people walked in, and an old man walking behind said in a deep voice, "Yes, this is a very troublesome matter. However, we can only build it after it is completely safe. For now, let them make do with it." Jin Qianyuan nodded, a contemplative look on his face. "Mayor, should we contact Star Moon Kingdom and ask for their assistance?" The old man nodded slowly. After hesitating for a moment, he suddenly spoke. His words made everyone's expression turn ugly. The Star Moon Kingdom had given up on them, but they relied on their own strength and Sir Wang Xian to tide over this crisis. When they were in danger, when they were about to perish, it wasn't the Star Moon Kingdom that saved them. However, if they did not rely on a kingdom, what could a small town like theirs do? "Sir Wang Xian, please make the decision on this matter. After all, the Holy Sea Town can continue to exist because of you, Sir Wang Xian." Jin Qianyuan looked at Wang Xian and said to them, "All right." The few of them nodded and looked at Wang Xian. "Sir, please decide the future of the Holy Sea Town." Wang Xian had already heard their conversation from the side. He looked at Mayor Jin and the rest and thought of the matter regarding Feng Wan. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. "All right, I'll make the decision." As he spoke, his eyes flickered. "Wait for my news." "All right, Sir Wang Xian. No matter what choice you make, we will support you." Everyone nodded their heads. Wang Xian took out his communication stone plate and revealed a smile. "I'll give you a city. Do you want it?" He sent it over. "Huh. When Feng Wan saw the message sent by Wang Xian, she was stunned. Then she smiled. "Stop joking." She sent it over with a smile. "I'm not joking. It can't be called a city. It should be a town. You should know about the Holy Sea Town, right? The Holy Sea Town was attacked by demonic beasts. Star Moon Kingdom gave up on defending the town. Now that I'm defending it, do you want the Holy Sea Town? Also, there's a problem that you need to solve." Wang Xian continued with a smile on his face. When Feng Wan saw Wang Xian's message, her body froze. She looked at his message in astonishment. Yes, she naturally knew about the Holy Sea Town. Her first stop after returning to the Transcendence continent was the Holy Sea Town. However, what she didn't expect was that Wang Xian would gift her a town while she was worrying about a base. Although it wasn't a town and was only 1/10 of the size of Donghai City, it was still a town after all. Just now, he already had the idea of building his own city. Wouldn't it be more convenient to have a town? It would save a lot of things. It really is a lucky star. Feng Wan revealed a happy smile. The old woman at the side saw that the Empress suddenly smiled happily at this time, and her face was full of surprise. What made the Empress so happy? "Yin, get ready. Bring all the resources and subordinates to Star Moon Kingdom. The journey has begun." Feng Wan faced the old woman and revealed a confident smile. "Empress, you are about the city." The old woman looked at her in astonishment. "Wang Xian gave me a city, the Holy Sea Town. Although it's not a city, it's not bad to start with a town." The corners of Feng Wan's eyes were raised, filled with joy. "Young Master Wang gave you a town." The old woman was astonished. "A town? We'll talk about it when we get there. He doesn't know how to joke." Feng Wan said with a smile. "All right, Empress. I'll get someone to prepare immediately. If we want to reach Holy Sea Town, it might take more than 10 days. The old woman said. "Okay, go and prepare." Feng Wan nodded. The old woman walked out of the room with a big smile on her face. In this life, someone will help the Empress, and someone will be with her. She won't be as lonely as she was 1,000 years ago. I hope that young man can bring a different life to the Empress. Chapter 1100. FUCK Off. In Holy Sea Town, a powerful array guarded the town, calming everyone down. However, the sadness left behind by the demon bee siege caused the atmosphere in Holy Sea Town to become slightly silent. Those who died defending the town were collectively buried under the arrangements of the mayor's office. The people of Holy Sea Town consciously came out to send off the heroes defending the town. All of them worked together as one. After the entire town was attacked by the desperate demon beasts, everyone in the town became much closer. They were all comrades who fought together. Send off, our heroes, our relatives. On the third day, under the leadership of the mayor, Jin Qianyuan, the people of Holy Sea Town walked out of their homes and saw a tombstone. Many of the soldiers guarding the city were swallowed by the ferocious beasts, so there were almost no corpses. There was only one tombstone. The tombstone was filled with names. There were more than 3,000 names in total. If Wang Xian had not appeared at the North Gate, more people might have died. The descendants of the deceased, one by one, carried the memorial tablets of their father and grandfather. They drove through the streets of Shanghai Town and finally entered the Hall of Heroes that was specially set up by Shanghai Town. Bow. Mayor Jin looked at the tombstone of the Hall of Heroes and shouted loudly. The tens of thousands of people standing around and the people on the streets outside immediately bowed. The deceased have passed away. The future of our Shanghai Town will be better in the future. Jin Qianyuan swept his gaze across everyone around and said loudly. Wang Xian stood on the upper floor of the mayor's residence and looked down. After experiencing this disaster, the entire Shanghai Town is equivalent to being reborn from the ashes. Wang Xian looked around and said with a sigh, "Buzz, buzz, At this moment, the communication stone plate in his hand started to tremble. What's going on? It's public information. Public information was a piece of information that was forcefully released to everyone in a certain area. To release such information, the mayor of EC City and a few of the top bigwigs in EC City had to give the order. This was the same as the mission released by the Mercenary Association. However, when he saw this piece of information, his face instantly darkened. Arrest warrant. Currently, East Sea City had issued an arrest warrant. Arrest the leader of the Celestial Phoenix mercenary group, Wang Xian, a former first-year student of the Demon Hunters Academy. Anyone who had any information about this person would report it through the communication stone plate. After the information was confirmed, he will be rewarded with 1,000,000 middle-grade spirit stones. He will be killed and rewarded with 100 million middle-grade spirit stones. Below the wanted notice, there was a picture of Wang Xian. HMPH, a wanted notice. Wang Xian didn't need to think to know that this was an order issued by the General of the Ocean Cultivator's army. He had killed his son. He would never let this matter rest. What, an arrest warrant? This is an arrest warrant issued by the Eastern Sea City. I want his uncle. Damn it. It must be because Lord Wang had killed the son of the general. That's why the General of the Ocean Cultivator Corps issued an arrest warrant. These damn guys, the Ocean Cultivator Corps, had escaped when we were in danger. It was Lord Wang who saved us. He even gave us 1,000,000 middle-grade spirit stones. I won't even report to you, even if you give me 10 million. We are very clear about this matter. When we went to the Ocean Mountain region to resolve the hidden dangers, the general's son killed 4 people because of his selfish desires. In the end, he even arrogantly said that his father was Tsunami Sky. What can you do about it? FUCK, the Ocean Cultivator Army. FUCK, the shit Star Moon Kingdom. The kingdom has already given up on us. We are not people from Star Moon Kingdom. At this moment, the rest of the people in Holy Sea Town who saw the wanted notice had furious expressions on their faces as they cursed loudly. At this moment, they did not care if you were the city lord of East Sea City, the general of the Ocean Army, or the king of the Star Moon Kingdom. In their eyes, they were all bullshit. Now, they only knew one person, their great benefactor, Wang Xian. Even a wanted order. Jin Qianyuan and a few experts from Holy Sea Town also saw this information. Their faces turned slightly gloomy. Buzz buzz. At this moment, Jin Qianyuan suddenly saw a message from the Castellan of East Ocean City. Holy Sea Town was not destroyed by the ferocious beasts. A surprise question. At this moment, in the Castellan's residence of East Ocean City, 2 middle-aged men sat side by side in the center of the front row. One of them had terrifying lightning in his body. A snake-like lightning was spinning on his arm. The other middle-aged man had his palms on a huge sword. He sat there motionlessly. City Lord Lei, it's true that the Holy Sea Town was not breached by the ferocious beasts. A friend of mine told me that they were saved by an expert named Wang Xian, who took out a powerful defensive formation. On both sides of the table, there were many experts seated. A middle-aged man stood at the front and reported respectfully to Mayor Lei. I have already sent a message to the mayor of the Holy Sea Town, and I'm waiting for his reply. Mayor Lei's face was solemn as he sat on the table and waited quietly. His eyes were staring at the communication stone plate, and there was some fury in his eyes. Since the Holy Sea Town was already secured, it would be a waste for a small town mayor like you to not report in time when he had already sent the news of the Holy Sea Town being destroyed to the Imperial City. Wang Xian. The middle-aged man with his palm on the big sword muttered. His eyes were filled with a strong murderous intent. Instantly, everyone felt the room turn cold. They couldn't help but shiver. Yes, City Lord Lei. In the Holy Sea Town, Jin Qianyuan's eyes flickered. He hesitated for a moment before replying. It has been confirmed that the Holy See town has not been destroyed. City Lord Lei read the message and said in a deep voice, "Ask the mayor if the guy who killed my son is still in the Holy See town. I want to go over and kill him." The middle-aged man stood up slowly. He was like a roaring ocean. "Okay." City Lord Lei nodded slowly. "The Holy See town has been defended. If we don't report it in time, what crime should we commit? I heard that Wang Xian is there. Leave him in the Holy See town and don't let him leave. General Hai, head to the Holy See town immediately." He spoke directly to Jin Qianyuan. His words were filled with dissatisfaction towards him. He was the city lord of one of the top 10 cities in Star Moon Kingdom. He was an expert at the insightful void level. Jin Qianyuan was merely the mayor and one of his subordinates. A single word from him could cause Jin Qianyuan to lose his position as mayor or even his life. Therefore, his words were filled with the authority of a superior controlling life and death. However, in Holy See town, when Jin Qianyuan received the message from the Thunder City Lord, a furious expression appeared on his face. "Fucku. When Holy See town was in crisis, the insightful Void Realm expert didn't come. Instead, he came directly because of his son's matter. Fuck!" Jin Qianyuan's furious roar immediately sounded. Chapter 11:01 Traders. Fucku. When Holy See town was in crisis, the insightful Emptiness Realm expert didn't come. Instead, he came directly because of his son's matter. Fuck! In the front of the Hall of Heroes, Jin Qianyuan couldn't help but curse out loud. This made the people around him look surprised. They looked at Mayor Jin. They didn't understand why Mayor Jin was so angry. "Mayor Jin, what's the situation?" The president of the Hiring Association frowned and asked curiously. "Mayor Lei asked me why I didn't report to him about the matter of guarding the Holy See. He also asked me not to let Lord Wang Xian leave. General Hai from the Ocean Cultivator Corps will come here directly." Jin Qianyuan said directly with a gloomy face. "What? Mayor Lei really said that?" "Fuck, they're a bunch of shameless people. Star Moon Kingdom has already given up on us. They want us to report to them immediately and even want to kill Lord Wang." "Fuck, when the Holy See town was in crisis, not a single void interpretation stage expert came. Now, because of the general's son, a void interpretation stage expert came directly. They don't even treat everyone in Holy See town as human beings. Hee. Our lives are not as important as the general's son. Mayor Jin, tell them to scram. They even want to kill Sir Wang Xian. Even if we were to fight it out with him, we wouldn't agree to it." "That's right. Our lives were given by Sir Wang Xian. What is the Star Moon Kingdom? I am no longer a member of the Star Moon Kingdom in the future." When the people around heard Mayor Jin's voice, they were all enraged. The Holy See town did not come when they needed the help of an insightful Emptiness Realm expert the most. Now, because of the death of a general's son, an insightful Emptiness Realm expert came directly. Moreover, the person that the general wanted to kill was the savior of their Holy See town. This action instantly made everyone extremely furious. If the people of Holy See town were already disheartened by the fact that the Star Moon Kingdom did not come to save them, now that they had done such a thing, it would make them angry and even murderous. As long as the Ocean Cultivator army dares to touch Sir Wang Xian, we will fight them with swords and knives." An old man said with a face full of anger. Jin Qianyuan stood there and stared at the communication stone plate. When he heard the words of the people around him, his expression changed drastically. "In the future, all of us will no longer be people of the Star Moon Kingdom. Fuck, this is simply going too far." He raised his head with a cold expression and roared loudly. "Fine. Fuck off to the Star Moon Kingdom. Fucking Star Moon Kingdom, let them die." The surrounding people roared loudly. "Humph." Jin Qianyuan snorted coldly. His gaze looked towards the communication stone plate and immediately began to reply. Where were you when our holy sea town was about to be destroyed and everyone was about to be killed? Abandoned the city and fled? Report to you? Who do you think you are? When our holy sea town was about to be destroyed, you didn't send an insightful emptiness realm expert over. Now, because of the son of a general, an insightful emptiness realm expert directly came over. Hee. You still want our benefactor to wait for you to kill him? Scram! In the future, Holy Sea Town will no longer belong to Star Moon Kingdom. You don't have the right to order me. Jin Qianyuan furiously spoke one after another. Following that, he directly cut off the connection with City Lord Lei. He's rebelling. He's rebelling. At this moment, in the Eastern Sea City, Lord's Manor, when City Lord Lei saw the message Jin Qianyuan sent over, he stood up furiously and slammed the table heavily as he roared with a frosty expression. The surrounding people were slightly stunned as they looked at City Lord Lei. What's going on? Tsunami Heaven looked at him and asked in a deep voice. The mayor of Holy Sea Town is so rebellious. He actually said that Holy Sea Town will no longer belong to Star Moon Kingdom in the future. I think this ant wants to rebel. Lei Feihu roared with a cold gaze. Rebel. Everyone was slightly shocked and their faces sank. A small mayor actually dared to rebel. I'll lead some soldiers of the Ocean Corps over and kill them directly. Tsunami Sky's eyes were filled with killing intent. All right, a bunch of ants from Sacred Sea Town want to rebel. We'll kill them first and report to them later. City Lord Lei also roared in a low voice filled with killing intent. In order to ensure the safety of East Sea City, the City Lord and General of East Sea City were forbidden to leave the city without orders. However, they wouldn't follow orders outside. In a situation like this, they could kill them first and report to them later. I'll bring my men and set off immediately. Tsunami Heaven grabbed the huge sword in front of him and strode out. HMPH, a bunch of fellows who are courting death. Castellan Lei realized that he had cut off the connection with the mayor of Shanghai Town. He narrowed his eyes and muttered under his breath. Sir Wang Xian, there's something bad. In the mayor's residence, Jin Qianyuan and the experts of Shanghai Town walked over and spoke to him with a bad expression. About the wanted poster. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and asked them, There's one more thing. Jin Qianyuan took a deep breath and said, Just now, Mayor Lei came to interrogate me and told me that the general of the Ocean Cultivators Army is coming to kill you. However, I will tell you directly that the Holy Sea Town will no longer belong to the Star Moon Kingdom. Jin Qianyuan said with a sullen face, No longer belong to the Star Moon Kingdom. Wang Xian was slightly stunned. He looked at Jin Qianyuan and said, This is treason. What country? A country that even its own people are unwilling to protect. Why should we give them the tax for the grand competition every year? Jin Qianyuan said with some sarcasm, It's fine if they didn't come to save us. Now, they still want to kill you, Sir Wang. Naturally, we will not agree to it. So what if we sentence the Star Moon Kingdom? An elder beside him said with some anger. Wang Xian looked at them. He was slightly touched. It was not in vain for him to save them. This could also be considered as betraying the country for him. Wang Xian smiled faintly and looked at them. Don't worry. I will give you a stable residence and a safe place to stay. Sir Wang Xian, you don't have to worry about anything. The strength of the array formation in our Holy Sea Town cannot be compared to that of Star Moon Kingdom. Even if the entire army of ocean cultivators comes, what can they do to us? Jin Qianyuan smiled and said with a carefree expression. Wang Xian smiled and nodded. We will have a result after waiting for more than 10 days. At the same time, a wanted notice caused the entire Holy Sea Town to be in an uproar. Everyone knew the cause and effect. This made everyone in the entire Holy Sea Town extremely furious. One by one, The citizens shouted that as long as the army of ocean cultivators came, they would fight to the death against them. At this moment, news came from the city guards. The mayor had already announced to the city lord of East Sea City that Holy Sea Town would no longer belong to Star Moon Kingdom. In the face of this act of treason, there was not the slightest expression on everyone's faces. Treason, then treason. A country is not benevolent, I am not righteous. Chapter 11:02. The sea cultivators were attacking. Good morning, Sir Wang. Good morning, Sir Wang. A day passed slowly. The next morning, Wang Xian came to the streets. Order had been restored in Shanghai Town. Some shops were reopened. When the citizens of Shanghai Town saw Wang Xian, they greeted him respectfully and loudly. Wang Xian nodded his head lightly and came to a place that sold tea leaves. Master Wang, do you want tea leaves? Seeing Wang Xian coming in, the boss stood up immediately and asked with a smile on his face. Yes, I want to buy some tea leaves to drink. Wang Xian nodded his head. Master Wang likes to drink tea. Please wait. As the boss spoke, he walked to the back and took out his precious tea leaves. Master Wang, please try it. This is a good tea leaf that I have been saving for decades. I guarantee it will be the best tea in Shanghai Town. The boss was all smiles. Please take it and drink it. I can't just take it for free. How many spiritual stones? Wang Xian shook his head and said as he looked at the boss' warm and courteous manner. Sir Wang, why do you still want more spiritual stones? Please don't torture me. If I were to take your spiritual stones, it would be a slap to my own face. My entire family's lives were saved by you. How can I take your spiritual stones? The boss waved his hand hurriedly. In the end, Wang Xian didn't insist on being the boss. He walked out with a smile. Little brat, look at that. That is the great hero of our Shanghai Town. You have to train hard in the future and strive to be as powerful as Master Wang. All right, Dad. Don't worry. I will protect you all in the future. On the way back, Wang Xian heard voices coming from behind, and the smile on his face grew wider. Reporting Master Jean. There's a fully armed 10,000-man army attacking from afar. Just as Wang Xian entered the mayor's residence, he saw a guard flying over and reporting anxiously to Mayor Jean. What? The 10,000-man army is attacking? Mayor Jean was slightly taken aback. Following that, his face darkened and his eyes flickered. Let's go to the city gate. Without any hesitation, Mayor Jean flew toward the east gate. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and flew toward the east gate. He was waiting for the arrival of Feng Wan. However, Feng Wan shouldn't be here so soon. There was only one person left. He was from the Ocean Cultivators Army. Boom! Before Wang Xian reached the city gate, he heard the sound of the formation being attacked. He narrowed his eyes slightly and looked ahead. The loud noise of the formation also attracted the surprise of the people nearby. Some of them flew towards the city gate curiously. The sea cultivators of Star Moon Kingdom have arrived. Open the city gate immediately. Do not disobey. Otherwise, you will be punished according to the crime of treason, including your 9 families. A dignified voice was heard. The cold voice spread across half of Shanghai Town. Wang Xian landed on the city wall and immediately saw the neatly arranged army below. The Army of Ocean Cultivators was written on the chest of his aquamarine-colored clothes. At the front, a burly middle-aged man was riding on a 10-meter-sized ferocious beast that looked like a dinosaur. The ferocious beast was emitting a violent aura. It was at least at level 9 of the supernatural realm. The middle-aged man stared at the position of the city wall without any emotion on his face. Wang Xian looked over and instantly sensed his strength. He was an insightful emptiness realm expert. He was the general of the Ocean Cultivator Army, Tsunami Sky. Jin Qianyuan stood on the city wall and looked at the tens of thousands of soldiers and the general at the front with a gloomy face. 2 days ago, Our Holy Sea town was in a crisis where the city was destroyed. Your ocean cultivator army didn't come to save us. I wonder why you are here now." He stared at the ocean cultivator corps with a gloomy face and roared in a deep voice. "I'm here. Open the city gate and welcome me." Tsunami Sky ignored Jean Qinyuan's words. He looked over with an expressionless face. "Haha, how interesting. If you came 2 days ago, we would have knelt down to welcome you. But now, who the fuck are you?" A city guard heard Tsunami Sky's words and mocked loudly without any fear. In an instant, when this city guard finished speaking, the entire ocean cultivator army below was completely stunned. 10,000 stunned gazes stared directly at that city guard. Humph. However, what responded to the ocean cultivator army was that young man's cold snort. Who the hell dared to call their general? To dare to call a profound void martial expert this was courting death. A thick, murderous aura appeared on Tsunami Sky's face. He moved his arm, and the weapon placed on the fierce beast beneath him was directly picked up. He pointed at the city guard from afar with a murderous aura. "You deserve to be executed. You deserve to be executed." The words that came out of Tsunami Sky's mouth with the surprise of the trial didn't go against the slightest. "Haha, you should be executed for your crime? General Tsunami Sky, you have to understand something now. Right now, you don't have the right to condemn others. In our Holy Sea town, who do you think you are?" Jean Qinyuan also laughed and said loudly without hiding anything. "That's right. FUCK. Who do you ocean cultivator corps think you are? Get out of my sight. You motherfucker. Is our Holy Sea town sex tax taking in trash like you just to show off? Get lost. Give it to me. Ocean cultivator corps? Bullshit. We are no longer people of Star Moon Kingdom. Don't step into our territory." The guards and the civilians who flew over cursed at the ocean cultivator corps without the slightest fear. "General. Insightful emptiness realm expert. So what? You've all come to kill our benefactor, yet we're still cheering and welcoming you. How could this be? In the face of the enemy, if we can't beat them, we can only curse. After all, they won't be able to enter. You bunch of damned fools of St. Sea Town. If you dare to betray our country, I, Tsunami Sky, will clean up you bunch of trash." Tsunami Sky's brows twitched violently. The dignity and superiority he had on his body were completely destroyed by the cursing of the people of St. Sea Town. He held the big sword in his hand tightly, flew directly to the air ice-cold roarway. "General Hai, on behalf of all the people of Holy Sea Town, I, Jean Qinyuan of Holy Sea Town, declare that Holy Sea Town no longer belongs to Star Moon Kingdom. The former Holy Sea Town has been destroyed." Jean Qinyuan looked at flying into the sky full of murderous tsunami day. Flat Face announced loudly, "Die, a bunch of ants. How dare they betray the country?" Tsunami Sky held his sword with both hands and slashed at Sacred Sea Town. The horrifying sword light, which was thousands of meters long, slashed at Sacred Sea Town from the top down. Bang! Crack! Crack! The 2 layers of array formation were broken, but they were still easily blocked. Tsunami Sky's face changed slightly, and he stared at the city-protecting array formation that blocked his attack in disbelief. How could this defensive formation be so strong? Hee, General Hai, you'd better take your men and get lost. Chapter 11:03 Feng Wan arrived. Hee, General Hai, it's better for you to take your subordinates and scram back. Jean Qinyuan's eyes were filled with coldness when he saw Tsunami Sky attacking the array formation. He didn't give any face at all and shouted in a low voice, "Scram back! Scram back!" For a time, the people of Holy Sea Town who were standing on the city wall also shouted at Tsunami Sky and the army of ocean cultivators with disdain. Good, 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 Holy Sea Town. Tsunami Sky revealed a furious expression. His chest heaved up and down continuously. It was obvious that he had been greatly angered by the scene in front of him. He was the general of the army of ocean cultivators, an expert at the profound void realm. He was a well-known expert in the entire Starmoon Kingdom. Anyone who saw him would have to be respectful. Now, in a small town, he was humiliated and even insulted in front of his subordinates. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. The soldiers behind him also had ugly expressions. The Ocean Cultivator Corps was ranked in the top 5 in the Starmoon Kingdom Corps. Now, they were humiliated in front of a small town. Was it so easy for the Ocean Cultivator Corps to be humiliated? General, let us attack together. Anyone who offends US must die. A burly old man raised the huge axe in his hand with a furious expression and shouted, "All right, attack." I don't believe that a small array can stop the ocean cultivators. Tsunami Sky shouted with a savage expression. Yes, get ready. Attack. The old man holding the huge axe had a fierce look in his eyes as he ordered loudly, "Attack!" Over 10,000 soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Army launched an attack at the same time. Each of them even released a divine ability. In an instant, a terrifying energy condensed in front of the city gate. Tsunami Sky also raised the huge sword in his hand, and his whole body shook slightly. Dharma idol heaven and earth, sky-high sword. The void seemed to shake slightly, and a 100-meter-long shadow appeared around Tsunami Sky, holding a huge sword that was at least 1,000 meters long. The huge sword slashed toward Holy Sea Town. Dharma idol, sky-high sword. When everyone in Holy Sea Town saw this horrifying attack, their faces changed slightly, and some of them turned pale. Boom! 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 The attack of over 10,000 ocean cultivators landed on the array formation, and the attack of a tsunami landed on the array formation. The sound of cracking could be heard again, but what shocked them was that everyone's full-strength attack still only broke 2 arrays. Hiss! This made everyone in the ocean cultivators' core suck in a breath of cold air. How is this possible? What array formation is this? How can it be so powerful? The soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Corps sucked in a breath of cold air, their faces filled with shock. Even Tsunami Sky's expression was extremely unsightly, his gaze flickering as he looked in the direction of Holy Sea Town. Whew! The array formation that Lord Wong took out is so awesome. Haha! Our Holy Sea Town will be incomparably safe in the future. That's right. Lord Wong said that this array formation can withstand the attacks of a rank 3 profound void martial artist, and the Starmoon City's defensive array formation can only withstand the attacks of a rank 1 profound void martial artist. Then we don't have to worry about being attacked by ferocious beasts anymore. On the city wall, everyone looked excited when they saw the scene. Despicable human. All he knows is internal strife. That human expert entered the void interpretation realm before him. I'm not his match, but that human can forget about killing me. In the sky, the leader of the blood barbaric demonic beast, who had been hiding for 2 days, stared at the spot below with a flickering gaze. He did not show himself. Don't even think about breaking through the city defense formation of Shanghai Town. Wang Xian's voice rang out. He looked at Tsunami Sky and said faintly, "Buzz." Tsunami Sky raised his head abruptly and stared at Wang Xian. "You killed my son." He growled in a low voice, word by word. "Your son deserves to die." Wang Xian stared at him and said faintly, "Crack, crack." Tsunami Heaven's arm, which was holding the huge sword, let out a crisp sound. He stared at Wang Xian and slowly closed his eyes. "Since your Shanghai Town has betrayed the Starmoon Kingdom, I hereby sentence all of you to die. Don't think that a formation can protect all of you for the rest of your lives." Tsunami Heaven opened his blood-red eyes abruptly and his majestic voice reverberated throughout the entire Shanghai town. "Get lost!" Jin Qianyuan roared furiously when he heard his words. "You, Star Moon Kingdom, still have the face to say such words. Get lost!" The people on the city wall also followed suit and shouted angrily. Tsunami Sky stood there coldly, and his expression gradually became ugly. He couldn't break the city protection array, so he had no way to deal with Holy Sea Town. Was he going to let a small town separate from Star Moon Kingdom and become independent? If this were to spread to other cities, wouldn't it be a huge disgrace? A town under East Sea City had rebelled and become independent, but in the end, there was nothing they could do. Wasn't this a slap to the city lords and Tsunami Sky's faces? Tsunami Sky's eyes flickered. He immediately took out the communication stone plate and passed the news to City Lord Lei with a gloomy face. "Just get someone to keep an eye on their movements. We don't need to pay attention to them." Wang Xian took a look at the Ocean Cultivator army in front of him. He spoke to Jin Qianyuan and flew toward the mayor's residence. Jin Qianyuan nodded and ordered his men to keep an eye on the Ocean Cultivator army before returning to deal with the matter. On the other hand, many citizens of Shanghai Town flew up to the city wall curiously and looked at the Ocean Cultivator army below. Some people couldn't help but curse. This made the Ocean Cultivator army more than 10,000 people furious, and they stared at them with murderous intent. But later, more and more citizens of Holy Sea Town came to see. Some of them were grumpy and opened their mouths to greet their families. In the end, Tsunami Sky, whose face was black, led the Ocean Cultivator army to retreat 5 kilometers. Don't think that just because there's a formation, we can't do anything to you. I don't believe that you won't come out. Since ancient times, it's not like there's no way to deal with this. Upon seeing the message sent by City Lord Lei, Tsunami Heaven revealed a hint of malevolence on his face. Donghai City had to settle the matter regarding the Holy Sea Town as soon as possible. Otherwise, if the entire Star Moon Kingdom were to find out about it, Donghai Town would lose all its face. Time passed slowly. Wang Xian sat in the backyard of the mayor's residence and sipped his tea. It was a rare occasion for him to lie there comfortably. Ao Jian and Ao Jian were cultivating. When Feng Wan arrives, I will give the town of Shanghai to her. I will also have to move the Dragon Palace over. Wang Xian thought to himself. Currently, he had hundreds of thousands of demonic beast corpses in his interspatial ring and the storage spiritual bag. Wang Xian estimated that the energy of these corpses would be able to increase his level after he devoured them. However, he still chose to stay behind. This was the foundation of the Dragon Palace. It was important for him to level up, but it was even more important for him to develop the Dragon Palace. When the Dragon Palace descended, it would be the time for rapid development. Chapter 1104. Feng Wan arrived. Time passed day by day. Soon, 3 days passed by in a flash. The group of ocean cultivators did not leave. The bloody demonic beasts were still hiding in the dark clouds in the sky. This ocean cultivators have such patience and ability. Why didn't they come when the Holy Sea Town was in danger? Hee, what a joke. Wang Xian stood in a separate courtyard in the mayor's residence and sat on the roof. He looked out of the city and thought to himself, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, Wang Xian saw many figures flying over Shanghai Town. Soon, the sky was slightly red as if flames were burning. Shanghai Town, do you think that we can't do anything to you just by relying on the formation? Let me tell you, if you dare to betray the country, you shall be sentenced to death. Just wait for your death. A loud roar covered the entire Shanghai Town. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at the sky. The loud noise that resounded in the sky also caused everyone in Shanghai Town to frown. They hurriedly looked at the sky. What happened? Why is the sky red? It's the formation. It must be the ocean cultivators outside who are trying to deal with us. Damn it, damn it, those bastards. Damn them. I know what it is. It's a fire mist formation. They've sealed our holy sea town with a formation. The fire mist formation is a tier 8 formation. It can create a fire dance space. There's no water element energy in this space. Quick, check the underground water. Is the underground water sealed by the formation as well? We can't extract water from the ground anymore. It's blocked by the array. This is bad. They want to cut off our water source. The sudden change in the sky and the majestic voice caused everyone's expression to change drastically. They hurriedly shouted. When someone recognized this array, their expressions changed instantly. All of them revealed furious expressions. The fire fog array was only a transcendent level 8 array. This kind of array wasn't very useful. It was considered a good auxiliary cultivation array for fire attribute cultivators. In this array space, if the water energy was used up, it wouldn't be able to condense water energy. East Sea City had brought over a dozen fire mist arrays to completely envelop Holy Sea Town. Cut off the water source. Once the water source was cut off, what awaited the humans of Holy Sea Town was death. With their strength, they couldn't do without water. So ruthless. They're destroying everyone in Holy Sea Town. Jin Qianyuan and the other experts looked at the fiery red sky, and their faces slowly sank. The underground water was blocked by the array. Water elemental cultivators could condense the surrounding water, but when the water energy in the surrounding space was used up, it would be troublesome. It is not necessary to destroy everyone, but it can make Holy Sea Town fall into panic. With a level 8 extraordinary formation, they could dig into the ground all the way to the location of the formation and break the formation to get water. However, it was already good enough to feed more than 10,000 people. It was impossible to supply 7 to 8 million people. Let's report this matter to Lord Wang Xian first. Jin Qianyuan and the rest had solemn expressions as they immediately headed towards the Holy Sea Town. At this moment, at the east gate of the Holy Sea Town, a group of people came to the city wall and glared at the sea of cultivators in front of them. You bunch of despicable fellows. You didn't come to save us when we were in danger. Now that we have escaped, you want to kill us instead. Starmoon Kingdom will be destroyed sooner or later. Shameless people. You bunch of bastards. You'll get your comeuppance. Some of the people's faces turned red as they cursed loudly. You bunch of fools. You'll have to pay a bloody price for betraying us and violating the dignity of Starmoon Kingdom. You bunch of fools. It won't be long before you roll out and kneel in front of us. How dare you curse at our army of ocean cultivators? Haha, just you wait. In half a month at most, you'll come and beg us. The soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Corps burst into laughter. After being scolded by the people of Holy Sea Town for the past few days, they finally let out a sigh of relief today. These damn fools, just you wait for the Ocean Cultivator Corps to trample on them. Humph, I want to see how long you can hold on. Pay attention to the array formation. If there is any place that is broken, immediately use spirit stones to repair it. Tsunami Sky sneered and ordered the soldiers at the side. Yes, General. A few officers were also excited. When they came out and the formation was removed, he would let this group of stupid people know the consequences of insulting them. The soldiers of the Ocean Cultivators Corps had a cold expression on their faces. Don't worry. Calm the people down and tell them not to worry. Wang Xian looked at Jin Qianyuan and the rest who were looking at him with a frown. A smile appeared on his face as he said, nonchalantly, putting aside the fact that Feng Wan would arrive a few days later, was this fire fog formation useful? The 5 elements were born in harmony. Fire gave birth to earth, earth gave birth to gold, and gold gave birth to water. All right, the fire fog formation had turned the entire Shanghai town into a space of the fire element. Under the interaction of the 5 elements, gold gave birth to water. This was equivalent to this formation. On the contrary, it could make fire attribute cultivators cultivate faster. Water shortage. Wang Xian's water hazard explosion could cause the water in Shanghai town to reach his ankles. When he sensed the effect of this formation, Wang Xian almost wanted to laugh. When Wang Xian thought of this, he couldn't help but laugh. Jin Qianyuan and the rest were slightly stunned when they saw Wang Xian smile. It seemed that Lord Wang had a way to deal with this. This made all of them smile and let out a heavy sigh of relief. It's good that Lord Wang has a way to deal with this. We will appease the people. Okay. Wang Xian nodded his head faintly. Feng Wan should be here in 6 to 7 days. The turmoil in Shanghai town quickly calmed down. When everyone knew that Lord Wang Xian had a solution, everyone in the Holy See town relaxed. Lord Wang Xian would not lie to them. They believed his words unconditionally. This made everyone in the Holy See town smile again. Some of the soldiers from the See Cultivators' army wanted to see the suffering of the people in the Holy See town. However, they realized that it was completely different from what they had imagined. This made their faces sink again. Humph, just hang in there. Let's see how many days you can last. At most 6 or 7 days. At that time, your tears will be your last drop of water. Some soldiers said with gloomy faces. A week had passed, but there was still no sign of water shortage in Holy See town. This made everyone in the Ocean Cultivator Corps look terrible. Even Tsunami Sky's face turned dark. What's going on? The array formation isn't broken. They didn't take water from the underground with their powerful strength. Why is there still enough water? Tsunami Sky was surprised. General, more than 1,000 people are coming toward Holy See town from the east. At this moment, a soldier flew over and reported immediately. Someone is coming to Shanghai town. Tsunami Sky looked to the east, his eyes shining. Chapter 1105. Establishment, Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty. Someone is coming to Holy See town? Let's go and see who it is. Tsunami Sky slightly narrowed his eyes and immediately walked toward the east. The soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Corps slowly followed behind. In front of them, more than 1,000 people slowly walked toward them. The leader was a woman with a good figure. The woman wore a veil on her face, making it hard to see her face clearly. Beside the woman was an old woman. Behind her were 3 middle-aged men. One was 2 meters tall and held a big knife in his hand. The other was dressed in a red robe and held a red staff in his hand. The other was a middle-aged man with a feather fan in his hand. He had long hair and looked a little thin. Behind him was a group of young men and women. They were walking in a neat line toward them. They were silent and didn't even make any sound as they walked towards the direction of St. C town. Stop! Who are you? Where are you going? The burly middle-aged man with a huge axe in his hand shouted at them. He glanced at the group and asked with a slight frown. Tsunami Sky looked at everyone with a trace of surprise in his eyes. This group of people had clear discipline, and they possessed powerful concealment abilities. Even he could not see their strength clearly. Judging from their movements, each and every one of them was not weak. However, Tsunami Sky did not take them to heart. Half of the strength of their Ocean Cultivator army was here, and he was here as well. He knew even the insightful Void Realm experts of Star Moon Kingdom. Moreover, no one dared to make an enemy out of them. Making an enemy out of them was equivalent to making an enemy out of the entire Star Moon Kingdom. We're going to Holy See town. The middle-aged man holding the feather fan looked at the group of Ocean Cultivators, fanned himself, and said with a smile, Why are we going to Holy See town? The burly middle-aged man holding the huge axe raised his eyebrows and continued to ask, Our friends are there. The middle-aged man with the feather fan stroked his beard and said with a smile, Very good friends. The middle-aged man with the feather fan slightly narrowed his eyes. A trace of cold killing intent flashed in his eyes, and the corner of his mouth slightly rose. Very good friends. We need to enter St. C Town and settle there in the future. May I know who you are? The middle-aged man with the feather fan swept over all of them and asked faintly, We are. The burly middle-aged man with the huge axe in his hand was about to speak when Tsunami Sky waved his hand. Go over, he said to the group indifferently. The middle-aged man with the feathered fan cupped his fists politely, and the group continued to walk forward. General. The burly middle-aged man walked to Tsunami Sky's side and called out doubtfully, Let's see how they can enter. Tsunami Sky slightly narrowed his eyes, and his eyes flickered with killing intent. Empress, these people are harboring evil intentions. There's even a void interpretation level demonic beast in the sky. The old woman's voice reached Feng Wan's ears. She lightly nodded and looked toward Holy See Town. The array formation is very strong. Without the strength of a third-level void interpretation, there's no way to break it. Feng Wan said with a face full of curiosity. The 5 elements are endless. What an exquisite formation. The old woman looked over and was also a little surprised. Just this formation alone is stronger than the defense of an ordinary kingdom's imperial city. The city defense formation was much more precious than ordinary formations. Its value was also dozens of times higher. After all, the area covered by the city defense formation was dozens or even hundreds of kilometers. The formation that Wang Xian took out was considered to be of a higher level in the Transcendence continent. The group of people ignored the group of ocean cultivators and headed straight for the city gate of the Holy See Town. The people who came were still Feng Wan and her group, who had rushed over from the Fire Lark clan. When they reached the east gate, Feng Wan raised her head and looked at the city guards on the city wall. On the city wall, the group of city guards were also looking at them curiously. They initially thought that this group of people was from the East Sea City to deal with them. Now it seemed that they were not. I'm looking for Wang Xian. Please tell him that I'm here. Feng Wan looked at the group of people on the city wall and said faintly, You're looking for Lord Wang Xian? A young city guard looked at them in astonishment. Then he looked at the ocean cultivator army that was released later. State your name. Lord Wang Xian didn't say that someone came to look for him. The young city guard asked loudly in disbelief. Feng Wan didn't say anything. She took out her communication stone plate and contacted Wang Xian immediately. At this moment in Shanghai town, Wang Xian had received the message from Feng Wan. He stood up with a smile on his face. His body moved and he flew directly toward the east gate. Are they here? Feng Wan raised her head and looked into the distance. A smile appeared on her face. At this moment, in front of the ocean cultivator's army, Tsunami Sky revealed a faint smile on his face when he saw Wang Xian flying over. Attack! Surround them all! Tsunami Sky revealed a cold expression and waved his hand indifferently. Yes. The middle-aged man who was holding the huge axe laughed and shouted, Surround them all! Boom! 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 The tens of thousands of ocean cultivators had a ferocious look on their faces. Their bodies were emitting a murderous aura as they charged over with cold eyes. The tens of thousands of people surrounded Feng Wan and the rest. What are you doing? The middle-aged man who was holding a feather fan turned cold as he looked at Tsunami Sky and asked coldly, What are you doing? You will know soon enough. Tsunami Sky smiled coldly as he looked at the city wall. At this moment, Wang Xian landed on the city wall. Looking at Feng Wan and the rest who were surrounded by the ocean cultivators, he was slightly stunned. He looked at the old lady beside Feng Wan and his gaze finally landed on her. He smiled faintly. You're finally here. Wang Xian smiled at Feng Wan. I'm here. Feng Wan nodded her head, faintly. Looks like you guys really know each other. Tsunami Sky raised his eyebrows when he saw how calm they were. He stared at Wang Xian coldly and asked, "We know each other. We're very good friends." Wang Xian nodded his head. "Good friends? That's even better. Haha." Tsunami Sky suddenly burst into laughter. "Since we're good friends, let's undo the formation and open the city gates. Otherwise, what do you think?" Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly and asked with a smile, "Otherwise, I'll kill one of them every minute." The huge sword in Tsunami Sky's hand landed heavily on the ground as he spoke in a ghastly tone. Clang, clang, clang. When he finished speaking, the soldiers around him drew their weapons and pointed them at Feng Wan and the rest. Wang Xian heard his words and was slightly stunned. Was he courting death? Wang Xian suddenly felt that Tsunami Sky was extremely stupid. A mocking expression appeared on his face. "Then why don't you try killing one?" he said faintly. Chapter 1106. Establishment, Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty. Why don't you try killing one of them? On the city wall, Wang Xian looked at Tsunami Sky and the group of ocean cultivators in amusement. They might not have understood what kind of existence they were threatening. Tsunami Sky looked at Wang Xian's teasing gaze and frowned slightly. He stared at Feng Wan and the rest who were surrounded. There were more than 1,000 people. Under their encirclement, they did not panic at all. They stood there very calmly. They did not even look at the soldiers around them. This made him suspicious. His eyes were flickering. Could it be that there were experts among this group of people? The situation at the city wall had attracted the attention of the people of Shanghai town. Because the city gate had been broken through by the ferocious beasts, they could see the outside of the town from the inside. Some of the citizens flew up to the city wall, curiously, when they saw Wang Xian. What are these despicable people from the Ocean Cultivators Army doing? I don't know. The people who are surrounded outside seem to be friends of Lord Wang. FUCK, what are these despicable people trying to do now? The citizens who rushed over looked outside angrily. Now, as long as it was related to Wang Xian, the people of Shanghai town were extremely irritable. Fine, make your move. As long as you don't withdraw the formation. I will kill all of your friends right in front of you. Upon hearing the curses from the crowd on the city wall, Tsunami Sky's eyes were filled with fury as he spoke furiously. Over the past few days, he had been scolded by the people of Shanghai town from time to time. This had already made him extremely furious. All of you bastards, stop! Stop immediately. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite in the future. Some of the citizens of Shanghai town who were unaware of the situation were standing on top of the wall and shouting anxiously. Their shouts caused more people to come over. Wang Xian smiled slightly when he saw the situation on the city wall. However, he didn't say anything. This was good as well. He wanted to let the people of Shanghai town see the strength of Feng Wan and the rest, so that they could prepare for her to take charge of this place. Feng Wan looked at Wang Xian before looking at the cultivators around her. I'll leave these troubles to you guys. Wang Xian smiled and said to Feng Wan, All right. Feng Wan nodded her head faintly and gestured to the middle-aged man with a feather fan beside her. Kill a few hundred of them first. However, at this moment, Tsunami Sky's cold roar sounded. At this time, he couldn't care less whether these people were experts or not. He also didn't believe that these people who were surrounded by them could be comparable to them. Attack! The burly middle-aged man with the huge axe raised the axe in his hand and shouted. Ha! A shout was heard in unison. Bastard! Damn it! Damn it! The people of Holy Sea Town who didn't know the situation were furious when they saw them attacking their Lord Wang's friend. Attack! The middle-aged man holding the feather fan opened the feather fan in his hand and ordered. Boom! At this moment, thousands of middle-aged men in red shirts moved behind them. A terrifying aura burst out from their bodies. Buzz, 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 buzz. The aura of level 7, level 8, level 9, and even half-step void interpretation was released in an orderly manner. The aura that burst out in that instant caused the entire world to change color. There were around 500 level 7 transcendents, 300 to 400 level 8 transcendents, and more than 100 level 9 transcendents. As for those who were half-step void interpretation, there were no less than 20. Leave this guy to me. The 2-meter-tall man standing behind Feng Yuan, who was holding a large saber, stared at the tsunami. He roared and instantly disappeared. King, should we get rid of that demonic beast in the sky? The middle-aged man holding the red staff looked up at the sky and asked respectfully, Get rid of it? Feng Yuan nodded and said directly, Yes. They moved. The people behind Feng Yuan all moved. However, the moment they moved, the bodies of the tens of thousands of ocean cultivators and the soldiers who were about to make a move froze. Their eyes slowly revealed fear. Boom! Ah! At this moment, screams of terror rang out. Everyone in the ocean cultivator corps looked over with endless fear on their faces. In their eyes, their general, the invincible commander in their hearts, an expert at the profound void realm, was actually sent flying. In fact, they didn't even see how their general was sent flying. At this moment, Tsunami Sky, who was spitting out blood, stared at the big man in front of him with a face full of despair. In that instant just now, he didn't even have time to react before he was struck in the chest by a punch. He felt as if his internal organs had been shattered. He looked at the big man in his line of sight, his gaze somewhat absent-minded. How was this possible? He was a powerhouse at the insightful void tier, and he was the strongest powerhouse in Star Moon Kingdom. How could any burly man injure him so severely? What frightened him the most was that his opponent had clearly not used his full strength just now. That was because his blade had yet to strike. Beast, come out and surrender. At this moment, he heard a voice that was filled with authority. Immediately after, he saw a fiery red chain directly pierce into the clouds. It was heading towards the sky a few thousand meters high. The chain was fiery red, and it contained a terrifying temperature. Not good, not good. A powerhouse, a top-tier powerhouse, a top-tier powerhouse of the human race. The leader of the blood barbaric demon beasts, who had been hiding in the sky, saw the middle-aged man suddenly attacking him, and his heart pounded violently. He had been hiding in the sky a few thousand meters high, and even the profound void tier general had not noticed him in the past few days. However, that middle-aged man had directly and accurately attacked him. The terrifying majesty contained within that chain made it tremble. Flee, flee, flee. The blood-savage beast leader's expression was extremely unsightly. Without the slightest hesitation, it wanted to flee into the distance in fear. However, that fiery red chain was like a soul-chasing chain, and its speed suddenly increased, reaching a terrifying level. Pa, pa, pa! The sound of collision was heard. The leader of the blood barbarian demon beast was full of fear. Its sharp arm directly chopped at the chain. Ah! At the moment of collision, the face of the blood barbarian demon beast changed, and it let out a blood-curdling scream. The chain coiled, directly wrapping around the leader of the blood barbarian demon beast. Don't kill me, don't kill me. The leader of the blood barbaric demon beast begged for mercy in fear. It realized in despair that it could not break the chains by itself. The opponent's strength was at least at the second level of the profound void tier. A human expert at the second level of the profound void tier was not something a demon beast that had just advanced to the profound void tier, could deal with. The leader of the blood barbaric demon beast was extremely miserable. It organized fierce beasts to attack the city, but the city was not taken down. All of its subordinates were killed. now that he had swallowed his subordinates and was preparing to take revenge and massacre the city. A group of terrifying human experts had suddenly appeared. How could there be so many experts in this tiny Star Moon kingdom? Chapter 1107 Establishment Dragon Phoenix Dynasty. This. Cough, cough, cough. Tsunami Sky's eyes widened when he saw this scene. There was actually a void interpretation level demon beast hiding in the sky. And this void interpretation level demon beast was easily trapped by the middle-aged man holding the staff. He looked at the burly man who was staring at him mockingly, and then looked down. At the very least, there were over 1,000 experts at the 7th level of the extraordinary realm. They were slaughtering his subordinates at a terrifying speed. They were slaughtering the soldiers of the ocean cultivator army. They didn't have the ability to resist at all. They were easily killed in an instant. None of them could resist. Finally, he looked at the woman who hadn't taken action yet, the old woman beside the woman, and the middle-aged man who was holding a feather fan. Who are they? Tsunami Sky's face was filled with fear as a thought flashed through his mind. You can die now. The burly man with the large saber in his hand looked at Tsunami Sky and coldly said, No, don't kill me. If you kill me, Star Moon Kingdom won't let you off. Tsunami Sky saw the killing intent in the burly man's eyes and hurriedly shouted in fear, Die. The burly man did not hesitate at all. His body moved, and the large saber in his hand directly slashed towards Tsunami Sky. No. Feeling the thick and heavy saber light of the burly man, Tsunami Sky's face was filled with despair as he shouted out loudly. Layers of water currents on his body blocked, but the difference was too great. He is at least a 3rd level profound void martial artist. Tsunami Sky thought in terror. Boom! With a slash, Tsunami Sky's body was split into 2. Roar, I can't accept this. At this time, the blood-savage demonic beast's desperate scream came from the sky. The leader of the blood-savage demonic beast died under the attack of the chains. The corpses fell to the ground. On the ground, there were already corpses. The thousands of experts who attacked didn't shout or make any sound. They could only kill. In less than a minute, tens of thousands of soldiers of the Ocean Cultivator Corps were killed. Blood flowed like a river. At this moment, in the sacred sea town screams, the red chains in the sky, the terrified roars of the Tsunami Sky, and the terrified pleas of the blood barbaric demon beasts. All over the sacred sea town, the people who stood on the city wall and witnessed this scene widened their eyes and gaped. This. A young man's body trembled as he rubbed his eyes with all his strength. Heavens, the Ocean Cultivator Army, an expert at the profound void realm, was actually killed so easily. So powerful, so terrifying. They actually killed the general of the Ocean Cultivator Army at the profound void realm in an instant, and killed the leader of the blood barbaric demon beasts that were hiding in the sky. Powerhouses. All of them are top-notch powerhouses. Among the over 1,000 of them, none of them are lower than Transcendent Level 7. Oh my God! Everyone was shocked. They looked at the group of people outside the city, and their faces were filled with astonishment. This group of people were simply god-killers. Wang Xian was not too surprised when he saw this scene. After all, he had already witnessed the terrifying existence of the old lady who could teleport. It was within his expectations that Feng Wan could build up such strength. His body moved, and he flew out directly. Not bad. Wang Xian came to Feng Wan's side. He looked at her and said with a smile, Is this the town that you want to give me? Feng Wan looked at her with a smile. How is it? This gift is not bad, right? Wang Xian said with a smile. He looked at the corpses around him and waved at Ao Jian, who was behind him. Give these corpses to me as a return gift. Wang Xian said with a smile. He threw the storage bag to Ao Jian and asked him to put away the corpses. It was another huge harvest. Feng Wan rolled her eyes at him. Open the formation. Let's go in. All right. Wang Xian nodded. Follow me. I'll bring you to take a look. As he spoke, he walked side by side with Feng Wan into Shanghai town. Feng Wan's eyes were sparkling as she looked at the town. Behind her, the middle-aged man who was holding a feather fan, a large saber and a staff, as well as more than 1,000 people behind him, looked at the young man who was walking shoulder to shoulder with their king in shock. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. As die-hard loyalists, they naturally knew the identity of their king. The empress from 1,000 years ago, the noble and aloof empress. Now, she was actually so close to a young man. Even the powerful and terrifying old man had to take a small step back in front of their empress. However, this young man was walking together with the empress. Lord Wang. Lord Wang. Lord Wang. Wang Xian brought them into Holy See Town. The people of Holy See Town looked at them and greeted them respectfully. They looked at Feng Wan and the group of people who followed him in with curiosity and respect. Who is that beauty? Could she be Lord Wang's wife? With such strength, Lord Wang must have a powerful background. Don't you think so? It's possible. However, this group of people is so terrifying. They killed 2 insightful emptiness realm experts directly. They are too invincible. It should be someone called by Lord Wang to help us solve the predicament of Shanghai town. The surrounding citizens whispered. Along the way, all the citizens who met Wang Xian greeted him respectfully. Some children even bowed to him in admiration. Feng Wan saw all of this and was slightly surprised. At the same time, she was very happy. Looks like you have quite a reputation in Shanghai town. When they were about to arrive at the mayor's residence, Feng Wan said to Wang Xian with a smile, Of course, now that Shanghai town has left Star Moon Kingdom, everyone here will listen to my orders. Otherwise, how can I give Shanghai town to you? Wang Xian said with a smile, The people's hearts are united. This is better than taking down a city directly. Although the town is smaller, the most important thing is the people's hearts. The old lady saw the entire Shanghai town in her eyes. After experiencing despair, Shanghai town had undoubtedly experienced nirvana. Everyone's spirit and energy were more vigorous. Such a new town had immense potential. Moreover, with the people's hearts united, the future development would be very easy. The old lady said to Feng Wan with a smile on her face, That's right. This place can save 1 to 2 years of development. Feng Wan also nodded happily. Then you have to thank me properly. Wang Xian said with a smile on his face, Sir Wang Xian. At this moment, Jin Qianyuan came up to the entrance of the mayor's residence. He had already learned about what had happened outside the city. When he saw Wang Xian leading a group of terrifying powerhouses, he had a faint feeling that something big was about to happen. Mayor Jin, please call all the powerhouses in Shanghai town over. I have something to announce. Wang Xian said to Jin Qianyuan. Yes. Jin Qianyuan nodded his head. Chapter 1108. At the historic moment of, You guys wait here first. After entering the mayor's residence, Feng Wan spoke to the people behind her as she looked at Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded. Let's go. He brought her to a courtyard in the backyard. The two of them sat inside while the old lady stood by the side. Are you sure we should start from here? Wang Xian looked at Feng Wan and asked her directly. Yes. Initially, I wanted to take down the Eastern Sea City. However, the king of Star Moon Kingdom has broken through to the 5th level of the Void Interpretation Realm. It's not something I can handle. The Holy See Town is pretty good. The Holy See Town is just a small town. Even if it's lost, the king of Star Moon Kingdom wouldn't come personally. Feng Wan nodded and sat beside Wang Xian. I have to thank you this time. Otherwise, I might have to wait for a few years. Wang Xian smiled and shook his head. It's better for you to be here. I'm preparing to move the Dragon Palace to the supernatural continent. Are you going to move it over? Feng Wan's eyes revealed a hint of joy. That's even better. We can take care of each other while you are at the sea area next to us. Wang Xian nodded. The situation in Shanghai Town is a little special now. The city of Shilai Town has been invaded by ferocious beasts, and about 800,000 people have escaped to Shanghai Town. There are too many people here now, and we need to expand the city. More people? That's even better. Feng Wan was full of smiles. I'm not afraid of more people, but I'm afraid of fewer people. Oh, right, when you take over Shanghai Town, you have to establish a kingdom. What's the name of the kingdom? Is it the Feng Xian Kingdom? Wang Xian asked curiously. Feng Xian Kingdom. When Feng Wan heard his words, her face turned slightly red. However, she quickly shook her head. No, I've already thought of a name. Feng Wan smiled and shook her head. She looked to the side and said, The name is the Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty. Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty? Just use the word dragon. As for the Dragon Clan, it doesn't matter. Although the Dragon Clan is extremely overbearing, if they don't mean to insult you, the Dragon Clan won't find trouble with you for no reason. Moreover, more than 1,000 years ago, there was a Dragon and Phoenix Dynasty. However, it was destroyed by me at that time. Now, the name is a little misleading. Feng Wan said with a smile on her face. Dragon and Phoenix, it fits perfectly. Wang Xian looked at her with a smile. Feng Wan rolled her eyes slightly when she saw his smile. When are you going to move the Dragon Palace to the Transcendence Continent? I'll take action immediately after helping you settle the matter here. Wang Xian retracted his smile and said seriously, Okay. Feng Wan nodded her head. Sir Wang Xian, everyone has been called over. At this moment, Jin Qianyuan walked in and said to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded his head and looked at Feng Wan. Let's go. In the mayor's residence, a group of people with some reputation and strength were all standing inside. They were discussing in a low voice out of curiosity. From time to time, they would look at the group of terrifying experts outside. Sir Wang. Upon seeing Wang Xian's arrival, everyone looked over and immediately greeted him respectfully. Yes, I've called everyone over. I have an important announcement to make. Wang Xian nodded and walked to the front. Feng Wan stood beside him and swept her gaze across everyone. Sir, please give us your instructions. Our lives are given to us by you. No matter what you say, even if we have to go through fire and water, we will do our best. The group of them also realized that something big might happen next. They bowed and expressed their opinions respectfully. Wang Xian did not doubt their words at all. Jin Qianyuan also stood respectfully in the middle of them, waiting for Wang Xian's announcement. This is my family member. Her name is Feng. The group of people standing outside have 2 experts at the 2nd level of the Void Interpretation Stage, 1 expert at the 3rd level of the Void Interpretation Stage, and more than 1,000 experts. I am prepared to hand over Shanghai Town to her, Wang Xian said to them. Jin Qianyuan and the rest were slightly stunned. Their faces were filled with shock. She will use the Holy Sea Town as her foundation to establish the Dragon Phoenix Kingdom. Wang Xian continued to speak when he saw the shocked crowd. What? Establish a kingdom. This. When Wang Xian finished his last sentence, everyone, including Jin Qianyuan, could not remain calm. Establish a kingdom. This was establishing a kingdom. Establishing a kingdom. To be able to do such a thing, everyone must be an expert, a formidable person, and a person with great ambitions. Otherwise, who would dare to establish a kingdom? Now, Wang Xian actually said that the woman beside him wanted to establish the Dragon Phoenix Kingdom. This made everyone feel surreal. My name is Feng. Everyone can call me King Feng in the future. At this moment, Feng Yuan spoke. She did not reveal her real name because she still needed to hide it. The moment she spoke, a majestic aura erupted from her body like a prehistoric beast. The moment she opened her mouth, it was as though the entire space was centered around her. Jin Shenyuan and the others felt their hearts skip a beat. They suddenly felt that this veiled woman in front of them was like a high and mighty god. She was like a peerless expert who controlled the power of heaven and earth, like their king. This made them feel an urge to become small and worship her. Jin Shenyuan's eyes widened slightly, and his face was filled with shock. He had once witnessed this aura. It was the aura of a king. He had once seen the king in the royal palace of Star Moon Kingdom. When he saw the king, he did not dare to look directly at him. However, this young woman in front of him had an imposing aura that was dozens or even hundreds of times that of the king. This was definitely not an ordinary woman. Even the princes and princesses of Star Moon Kingdom could not compare to her. Shanghai Town has already withdrawn from Star Moon Kingdom. From now on, follow Feng and conquer the world together. She will lead all of you to lead Shanghai Town to the stage of the supernatural continent. Wang Xian said from the side. Sir Wang, what about you? An old man looked at Feng Yuan with some respect, then looked at Wang Xian and asked, Me? I will always be here. However, I will not ask about your matters in the future. Leave everything to Feng. As Wang Xian spoke, he looked at all of them and said in a deep voice, I have no other requests. I hope that all of you will obey Feng with all your might and follow her to build an invincible empire that will shake the entire supernatural continent. Invincible empire. Jin Shenyuan and the rest widened their eyes and could not help but gulp. Empire? There were only 5 empires in the supernatural continent. We will listen to Lord Wang Xian. Everyone replied respectfully. Following that, they looked at Feng Yuan. Greetings, King Feng. Greetings, King Feng. Everyone knelt on the ground and bowed. Since Lord Wang Xian had asked them to respect her as king, they would respect her as king in the future. Chapter 1109, at the historic moment of Rise. Feng Yuan looked at the people kneeling in front of her and revealed a faint smile on her face. She had finally taken her first step. She turned around and looked at Wang Xian with gratitude in her eyes. Wang Xian shrugged. Let's go out. Okay. Feng Yuan nodded and followed beside him. Wang Xian walked out of the mayor's hall and flew directly to the central tower. Feng Yuan moved and followed closely behind him. Jin Shenyuan and the rest didn't hesitate and followed behind him. They knew that the time for the establishment of the dynasty had arrived. Wang Xian was floating in the sky above Shanghai Town while Feng Yuan stood beside him. Citizens of Shanghai Town, I am Wang Xian. Today, I have something important to announce. Wang Xian looked down and shouted in a deep voice. In an instant, Wang Xian's voice spread across the entire Shanghai Town. Oh, it's Master Wang. Master Wang has an announcement to make. Hurry up and come out. Come out, come out. Put down what you are doing and come out. With just one sentence from Wang Xian, everyone in Shanghai Town put down what they were doing and walked out of their houses. Some were standing on the streets, while others were standing in the courtyard. Basically, everyone walked out of their houses and raised their heads to look at Wang Xian, who was in the sky. From today onwards, I will hand over Shanghai Town to my family next to me. Her name is Feng. Today, Feng will use Shanghai Town as the starting point to establish the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. In the future, Shanghai Town will become a citizen of the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. Wang Xian shouted loudly again, and his voice entered everyone's ears. Everyone was slightly stunned as they looked at the beautiful figure beside Wang Xian in astonishment. Boom! Feng Yuan moved her feet lightly as a warm flame was emitted from her body. I am Feng. Today, I will use Shanghai Town as the imperial city to establish the Dragon Phoenix dynasty. While everyone was in a daze, Feng Wan spoke directly. At the same time, streams of warm flames were emitted from her body. The flames blocked the radiance of the sun and emitted a warm radiance that made everyone feel warm. Everyone in Holy See Town had shocked expressions on their faces as they stared blankly at the infinitely enlarged phoenix in the sky. I am the king. All living things in the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty are equal. The people are not affected by hunger and cold. I am the king. All living things in the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty are safe and undisturbed by fierce beasts. I am the king. All living things in the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty can strive to become stronger. I am the king, and all beings in the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty are invincible, fearless, and without fear. Feng Wan's voice resounded in everyone's mind. Everyone widened their eyes and slowly opened their mouths. Equality, peace, self-improvement, and invincibility. These grand ambitions shocked everyone. Today, the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty is established, and I am the king. The city will be expanded, and the Dragon and Phoenix Academy will be established. The first principal of the academy will be you, Qingzi, a rank 2 insightful void martial artist. Every child will have a chance to become a peerless expert. Feng Wan's face revealed endless dignity as she slowly walked over. I am Yu Qingzi. Everyone, please advise me. When Feng Wan spoke of Yu Qingzi, the middle-aged man holding the feather fan directly flew into the sky and looked down at all the people below. He cupped his fists and said, "The Dragon and Phoenix Empire will establish the Dragon and Phoenix City Guards. The commander, Yan Winshan, is a rank 2 profound void martial artist." Feng Wan continued to speak. I am Yan Winshan. Please enlighten me. The middle-aged man holding the red staff flew into the sky and cupped his fists at everyone. The Dragon and Phoenix dynasty has established the Dragon and Phoenix army. There are 1,200 people in the army. The commander, Mang Hong, is at rank 3 of the profound void martial stage. I am Mang Hong. Please enlighten me. Dragon and Phoenix army, please enlighten me. The middle-aged man holding the big saber flew into the sky and shouted loudly. The 1,200 experts of the Dragon and Phoenix Corps flew into the sky at the same time and shouted at everyone in Holy See Town. Today, Holy See Town will be renamed Dragon and Phoenix City. Feng Wan finally announced. When he finished saying this, he waved his arm. One after another, feng shui compasses floated around him. Buzz, buzz, buzz. One after another, feng shui compasses instantly formed a large array. Rain formation, rank 4 void interpretation formation, lives in Dragon Phoenix City. People don't get sick. Their bodies are cleansed. Wind pattern formation, rank 5 void interpretation formation, city defense formation. The formation can release rank 4 void interpretation attacks to attack intruders. Boundless spirit formation, rank 5 void interpretation formation, gathers spiritual energy within 1,000 miles, increases the concentration of spiritual energy in Dragon Phoenix City by 5 times. Mingqing Array, 3rd grade void interpretation array, auxiliary array. It can make people's minds clear. Rays of light covered Holy See Town as Feng Wan spoke one by one. Following her actions and her words, all the people in Holy See Town could feel the changes in their surroundings. When they heard the level and function of this array, all of their faces revealed shocked expressions. Many people's bodies trembled. Heavens, what is this? For powerful array formations at the profound void tier. Under these 4 array formations, Holy See Town was definitely a paradise. Even the array formation in Star Moon City was far inferior to it, right? Even some of the Empire's large cities had such an array formation. First, It was Feng Wan's grand wish, then the profound void experts they looked up to, and finally, this priceless array formation. It was no exaggeration to say that this array could buy their sacred sea town. However, as the citizens of sacred sea town, they were a little stunned at first, but now they were a little excited. Oh my God, we can actually live in such a city. This is completely the transformation of thatched cottages and villas. Below, even Jin Qianyuan and the others were trembling at Feng Wan's grand gesture. They knew what this array meant and what it meant for the future of the holy sea town under these arrays. Grand gesture, grand gesture. She was really going to use the holy sea town as a starting point to build a powerful kingdom. At the thought of Wang Xian's words, they were all excited again. We are willing to be the citizens of the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. We are willing to make you the Phoenix King. Long live the Phoenix King. Jin Qianyuan and the rest looked at each other. He could see the shock in each other's eyes. The group of people knelt on the ground and shouted loudly, "We are willing to be the citizens of the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. We are willing to serve you as the Phoenix King. Long live the Phoenix King." Jin Qianyuan and the rest took the lead. The rest of the citizens of Holy Sea Town quickly shouted loudly as they slowly knelt on the ground. Not to mention the great ambitions that the Queen had said, the things that she had brought out were worthy of their kneeling. Moreover, with the Queen and her subordinates in the future, why would Holy Sea Town be afraid of demon beasts attacking the city? Just now, many people had seen with their own eyes that her subordinates, who were floating in the sky, had directly killed the leader of the barbaric demon beasts. He had exterminated the ocean cultivator army and the general who wanted to kill them within a minute. Chapter 11:10 Dragon Palace Descended. All citizens, today is the first year of the establishment of the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty. From now on, we will enter the year of the Dragon and Phoenix calendar. Today will be the day of the founding of the National Day. In the future, I will make the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, standing at the top of the extraordinary continent. You will be my first batch of citizens. Next, we will lead everyone and create miracles. Feng Wan looked at the 7 to 8 million people below and smiled. She said calmly as if she was stating a fact. Everyone below widened their eyes. They looked at the Queen, who was emitting flames, and were in a daze. This kind of absurd and whimsical thing seemed to be coming true from her mouth. This made them feel that they might be a little crazy, but they actually believed her words. Next, I will quickly transform Dragon Phoenix City and build a city guard team. Everyone, please do your own things now. After Feng Wan finished speaking, she flew down directly. Wang Xian followed her back to the mayor's residence. Oh my God, that beauty! No, our queen! She actually built a dynasty in our Holy Sea Town. We can't call it Holy Sea Town anymore. We should call it Dragon Phoenix City instead. The array formation the queen brought out is so powerful, and the spiritual energy here is increasing rapidly. It's not just spiritual energy. I can feel the water energy falling on my body, and now my whole body is feeling very comfortable. Haha, in the future, when our Holy Sea Town has these arrays, the demon beasts and fierce beasts attacking the city are just courting death. Exactly. With our 4 arrays and Lord Wang's arrays, even insightful emptiness realm experts can't do anything to us. Besides, the Dragon Phoenix City now can't even be compared to those big cities in the empires. Our queen was brought here by Lord Wang. I wonder what the relationship between Lord Wang and her is. I saw them when they were passing by the city. They seemed to be very close to Lord Wang. All right. The queen's private affairs are not something that we can discuss. We will definitely have good fortune after surviving a great disaster. Haha. In the future, when the academy is established, the insightful emptiness realm expert will be the principal. There will be abundant spiritual energy and strong instructors here. Perhaps my child will also be able to become a hero like Lord Wang. When they saw the queen leave, all the citizens had excited expressions as they started chatting. As they looked at the sky, they suddenly felt that it was extremely blue and filled with hope. Especially when the queen said, "I am the queen," it made their blood boil. They had the urge to fight for the queen. In just a few minutes, Feng Wan had won the hearts of everyone. Impressive, as expected of the #1 empress of all time. Wang Xian looked at Feng Wan with a smile. "Even without me, you can win the hearts of the people. Without you, it would be much more troublesome." Feng Wan shook her head. If she were to attack a city, the city lord's mansion would definitely gather the entire city's strength to defend the city. If someone was defending the city, she would have to kill the person defending the city. Once someone was killed, the family members of the person defending the city would resent her. Even if she were to take out so many treasures, it would still cause the family members who died defending the city to resent her. They might even take revenge. And here, with Wang Xian around, the hearts of the people were united. She only took out some treasures and gathered the hearts of the people. In front of the people who had experienced despair, she was naturally extremely grateful. A large part of the reason was still because of Wang Xian. "I'll return in a while. You guys stand still. I'm going to officially enter the Transcendence continent." Wang Xian looked at Feng Wan and said with fighting spirit in his eyes, "Okay, call me when you've migrated over. I'll go meet Sister Shu Qing and the rest." Feng Wan nodded. "Okay." Wang Xian smiled. "Here are the remaining pills. Take them." Feng Wan gave him the remaining pills from the sale of the half-step void interpretation bloodline. Wang Xian stretched out his hand and took them. A smile appeared on his face. "All right, I'm leaving. Be careful of the Star Moon Kingdom." Yes, the Star Moon Kingdom will not mobilize all their forces just because of a town. Feng Wan nodded at him. "Let's go." Wang Xian shouted softly. With a move of his body, he flew directly to the location of the Earth's passageway. Ao Jian and the group of strange demons immediately followed behind. Feng Wan looked at Wang Xian's figure and revealed a smile. "Empress, young Master Wang's subordinates have all made breakthroughs in just half a month. It's especially so for those kinds of creatures. It's absolutely easy for them to assassinate martial artists who are at level 9 of the extraordinary realm. The one who combines light and darkness has reached the peak below the void interpretation realm." The old lady looked at Wang Xian's figure and whispered, "Xiao Yin, I might not be able to return to the peak in the future history of the Transcendence continent, but he will definitely be able to stand at the peak of the Transcendence continent and be worshipped by all races." Feng Wan's eyes flickered as she said, "Oh." A trace of shock appeared in the old woman's eyes. This was the first time she had heard the Empress say such words. She looked at the gradually disappearing figure in astonishment, and a smile appeared on her face. If he is really like what the Empress said, then this young Master Wang will help you return to your peak. I want to do it myself." Feng Wan's face revealed a resolute expression, followed by a valiant smile as she went to deal with the problem of Dragon Phoenix City. "I wonder what Shu Qing and the rest are doing? Are they still in seclusion? This is the longest time I have been away." Wang Xian smiled and entered the ocean. When Wang Xian was about to reach the passageway, he was astonished. With a thought, he flew to the left. "That's Ao Qitian." Wang Xian looked over and saw Ao Qitian and Ba Qi attacking a 5-headed giant squid that was at Transcendent Level 5. Ao Qitian and Ba Qi were both at Transcendent Level 4. However, due to their blood barbarians, there was no problem for them to fight above their level. The 5-headed giant squid was about to be killed by them. "Dragon King! Dragon King!" Ao Qitian and Ba Qi also sensed Wang Xian's arrival. They turned around and shouted excitedly, "Not bad. Let's go. Let's go back first." Wang Xian looked at them with satisfaction on his face. The last time they returned to the Dragon Palace, he had asked Prime Minister Gui to send people into the Transcendence continent to hunt ferocious beasts. Based on Ao Qi Tian and Ba Qi's abilities, their gains were not bad. It's the Dragon King. The two of them nodded respectfully. They put away the corpses of the 5 giant squid and swam toward the passage. This time around, it's time for the Dragon Palace to conquer the extraordinary mainland. Wang Xian moved his body and returned to the Dragon Palace through the passage. He was familiar with the Dragon Palace and was surrounded by the Water Tribe cultivators. This made him smile. He slowly walked to the Dragon King's palace. "Greetings, Dragon King." The Water Tribe members who had learned of his arrival stood respectfully at the Dragon King's palace and shouted loudly. Chapter 11:11. The Arrival of the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Gui, Ao Qi Tian, Ao Nu, Ao Shi, Ao Yeka, Ao Qi, and Ba Qi, the 7 high-level officials of the Dragon Palace, together with Ao Jian and Ao Yao, were the current pillars of the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Gui was in charge of the overall situation. Ao Qi Tian was in charge of the Devil War Department. Ao Nu was in charge of the environment in the Dragon Palace, and Ao Shi was in charge of the Internal Affairs Department. Ao Yeka was in charge of the Dragon Defense Department, patrolling the 4 seas. Ao Qi was in charge of the Thunder Department, while Ba Qi was a technician who was in charge of developing poisons. Ao Jian was in charge of the Golden Swordfish clan and belonged to the guards of the Dragon Palace. Ao Yao was in charge of the Dragon Spur Department and was in charge of assassinations. Wang Xian looked at his subordinates in front of the Dragon King's hall with a satisfied expression on his face. Although other than Ao Jian and Ao Yao, the rest of them were very weak. Their potential was limitless. Among them, all of them were at Transcendent Level 4. Ao Shrimpy and Ao Nu were slightly weaker. "I have something important to announce upon my return." Wang Xian looked at them and said directly. Prime Minister Gui and the rest bowed and waited for Wang Xian's words. "In 7 days, I will move the Dragon Palace to the Transcendence continent. At that time, we will develop in the dangerous Transcendence continent." Wang Xian glanced at all of them and said, "Before we develop, I will improve your strength first. Prime Minister Gui, gather all the members of the Dragon Palace. It's the Dragon King." Prime Minister Gui nodded respectfully. "Where are the Dragon Queens?" Wang Xian looked at Ao Nu and asked her. "The Dragon Queens are cultivating in the bedroom." Ao Nu replied respectfully. "Okay, I'll go over first." Wang Xian nodded. His body moved, and he went straight to the Dragon King's bedroom. Looking at the 6 girls who were sitting cross-legged on the big bed and cultivating, Wang Xian smiled. "My babies, I'm back." Wang Xian chuckled, and his voice echoed in their minds. The group of girls were awakened by him. When they opened their eyes and saw Wang Xian, they were pleasantly surprised. "Huh." Wang Xian pounced on him shamelessly. After leaving for such a long time, he really missed him to death. "You only know how to do this when you just arrived. You annoying fellow." Ah, the tens of thousands of words that could not be described were omitted. After 6 hours, Wang Xian walked out in high spirits. Following him were 6 beautiful women who were beaming with happiness. "I'm going to raise the strength of the Dragon Palace. All of you follow me." Wang Xian looked at the members of the Dragon Palace who had been waiting for a few hours. He smiled and flew over. "All right, little Xian." The group of girls followed behind him happily. Dragon King, Dragon Queen, all the members of the Dragon Palace are here. Prime Minister Gui said respectfully when he saw them coming. Wang Xian nodded and looked over. The Dragon Palace currently had a total of 3,560 members, including about 900 members from the Demon War Department. The Dragon Palace had the largest number of members. The rest of the Hag clan, the Thunder Shrimp clan, and the Golden Swordfish clan only had 300 to 400 members. The Strange Demon clan had the smallest number of members, only 156. However, the Strange Demon clan was also the strongest. When Wang Xian came to the Dragon Palace for the second time, he had increased the strength of a group of strange demons. Now, there were 20 strange demons who had reached Transcendent Level Rank 3. The strength of the 9 Flood Dragons had also reached Transcendent Level Rank 3. Out of the 3,500 members, only half of them had reached the Transcendent level. There were also many who were at the level of upper-level immortals on Earth and were half-step into the Transcendent level. Other than the few subordinates that Wang Xian had subdued back then, the rest of them were the dolphins. The dolphins and Tang Yinxian cultivated a special type of sound wave. When Tang Yinxian had broken through to the Transcendent stage, she had comprehended a supernatural ability. It was a water attribute, supernatural ability. It used a special wave to boost the morale of the troops. The clarity of mind, energy recovery, and injury recovery of the creatures covered by the supernatural ability would be doubled. This was a very abnormal divine ability, but it was only effective on creatures of the same or lower level. For those creatures that were stronger than her, the divine ability had no effect on them. The other members of the Dragon Palace had different types. There were sea snakes, sea turtles, all kinds of sea fish, and all kinds of sea beasts. This group of chaotic creatures took up half of the total number. Ao Jian, have all the corpses been placed beside the dragon pool? Wang Xian asked Ao Jian. Dragon King, 1/3 of the corpses have been placed there. There are too many corpses in the storage bag. Ao Jian said, All right, everyone head to the dragon pool. Wang Xian walked in front and headed towards the dragon pool. Inside the dragon pool, there were 9 divine dragons spiraling on the dragon pillars. Their huge dragon heads were spitting out streams of bright red blood. At this moment, the dragon pool that could accommodate thousands of people had already reached 80% of dragon blood. This was the first time that so much dragon blood was stored in the dragon pool. However, this amount of dragon blood was not even used on 1/3 of the corpses. So much dragon blood. It was the first time that Guan Shuqing, Lan Qingyue, and the other 6 girls had seen so much dragon blood. They were very clear about the value of dragon blood. It's time to upgrade the strength of the Dragon Palace. After this upgrade, the Dragon Palace will be transferred to the Transcendence continent. At that time, all of you will be with me. Wang Xian smiled. Wow, that's great. In that case, we can be together every day. The 6 girls were filled with joy. Prime Minister Gu Ao Qitian, the 7 of you will enter first. After upgrading your strength to level 6 of the Transcendence, come out immediately. Wang Xian said to them, It's the Dragon King. The leaders of the Dragon Palace entered the dragon pool directly and began to raise their strength rapidly. Members of the Strange Demon clan, enter the dragon pool and raise your strength to Transcendent Level 6. In addition, choose to advance your dragon species as the Light Spike. 9 dragons, enter the dragon pool and raise your level to Transcendent Level 6. Wang Xian looked at the 12 dragons of the Bizarre Demon Clan and gave his order. The Bizarre Demon Clan's development in the Transcendent Continent was of utmost importance. Therefore, the Bizarre Demon Clan had to be strong. The 12 dragons were the future divine wind dragons. Naturally, they couldn't fall behind. Thank you, Dragon King. The group of Bizarre Demons and the 12 dragons immediately jumped into the dragon pool. Dolphins, enter the dragon pool and level up your cultivation to Transcendent Level 5. Wang Xian looked at the over 200 dolphins and ordered, Thank you, Dragon King. Over 200 dolphins, each 2 to 3 meters in size. Their eyes were filled with wisdom as they entered the dragon pool. directly. Wang Xian watched them enter the dragon pool and didn't say anything else. To Wang Xian, the dolphins were an important race in the Dragon Palace. Their demonic sound was their strongest technique. They were extremely useful in large-scale battles. The strength of the dolphins could not be too low. Xiao Xian, I have something to tell you. At this moment, Lan Qingyue, who was standing at the side, looked at Wang Xian and said suddenly, What is it? Wang Xian looked at her in astonishment. After entering the extraordinary continent, I want to bring Xiaolan out to explore. Chapter 11:12. The Dragon Palace Descended. You want to bring Xiaolan to explore alone? This won't do. Qingyue. Upon hearing Lan Qingyue's words, Wang Xian's face was filled with astonishment. He quickly shook his head. Actually, some time ago, I wanted to enter the Transcendence continent, but I was stopped by Prime Minister Gui. Lan Qingyue looked at Wang Xian with a hint of determination in her eyes. Following her gaze, she looked at the top of the Dragon Palace. Boom! At this moment, a huge object blocked the sky above. It had a gray body and was extremely huge. It looked like a prehistoric giant beast. The Kuin was one of the most powerful creatures in the universe. When Wang Xian left, the Kuin that Lan Qingyue raised was only about 300 meters long. Now, it was at least 600 to 700 meters long. Xiaolan went to the south and north poles that the Dragon Palace has never been to before. She devoured 80% of the creatures there. Now, her cultivation has reached Transcendent Level 6. My strength has also reached Transcendent Level 5. There's no room for Xiaolan on Earth anymore. I am prepared to go to the Transcendence continent with her. As Lan Qingyue spoke, her body emitted a gray energy. Furthermore, Xiao Xian, I have inherited the inheritance of the ancient god who raised the Kuin Master. I have become the last bloodline of the ancient god race. I want to help you and not drag you down. Wang Xian looked at her and was slightly silent. Lan Qingyue had obtained the inheritance. It was the best inheritance in the universe. There were only a few that could be compared to her. The Kuin of the ancient god race dared to devour the divine dragons and phoenixes, as well as all kinds of top-tier races. A Kuin that had grown up was not weaker than the top-tier dragon kings of the divine dragons. After obtaining such an inheritance, Lan Qingyue wanted to become stronger, help him, and show the glory of the ancient god clan. Qingyue, I'm afraid that you will be in danger. The extraordinary continent is not Earth. There are countless level 6 extraordinary creatures there. Your and Xiaolan's strength is not enough to deal with the unknown danger. Wang Xian said with some worry. Xiao Xian, don't worry. The ancient god clan was once hunted down by all the major races in the universe. They are definitely top-notch when it comes to avoiding danger. Moreover, I don't think that an extraordinary continent can cause the death of an ancient god-level Kuin Master, even though he is just an ancient god-level Kuin Master who has just obtained the inheritance. Lan Qingyue smiled and said confidently. Wang Xian saw her determined look and touched her face. I have 2 void interpretation level corpses here. In a while, pass one of the transformed dragon blood to Xiaolan. Thank you, Xiao Xian. Lan Qingyue kissed him happily. Wang Xian smiled and said, Where's Xiao Yu? I wonder how long it will take for her to return from this trip to the extraordinary continent. Little sister Xiao Yu came back a few days ago. She even said to inform her next time if you are here. Guan Shuqing replied to Wang Xian. Okay, inform her and ask her if she is going to the supernatural continent. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before replying. All right, let's inform little sister Xiao Yu. The few girls nodded their heads. Wang Xian looked at the sky and flew into the sky. On Earth, due to the gravitational force, his speed was 10 times faster than that of the extraordinary continent. The destructive force that he could cause was several times greater than that of the extraordinary continent. With a single attack, he could cover an area of 10 kilometers. He could easily destroy a huge mountain. Looking around, he could see a location of 50 to 60 kilometers with his dragon eyes of light and dark fire. The entire Earth had undergone tremendous changes. Martial arts had gradually replaced science and technology. Under the nurturing of the spiritual energy, the Earth's gravitational force will also increase. At that time, it might reach a balance with the Transcendence continent. At that time, it might not be able to fly until one has reached transcendence. Wang Xian arrived in the sky above a city within a dozen seconds. Looking at the lush and verdant city below, he thought to himself. After taking a round, Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace. In the next few days, Wang Xian stayed in the Dragon Palace. The strength of the members of the Dragon Palace was improving at a terrifying speed. There were hundreds of thousands of corpses, including many high-level corpses. This was a huge improvement to the Dragon Palace. In the past few days, Ao Yao, Ao Jian, and the rest led Prime Minister Gui to the sea of the supernatural continent. They were searching for the location of the Dragon Palace. Brother. On this day, Xiao Yu and Feng Lingtian arrived at the Dragon Palace. Xiao Yu ran over excitedly and hung herself on Wang Xian's body. All right, you're already married. You're such a big girl. Wang Xian patted her head with a smile on his face. Brother, how many days will you be staying for this time? Xiao Yu asked hurriedly. I might be staying for 4 to 5 days. I'll be leaving in 4 to 5 days. Furthermore, I'm preparing to move the Dragon Palace to the supernatural continent. Wang Xian looked at Xiao Yu and said lovingly, Ah. Xiao Yu was slightly shocked. She stared at him with her eyes wide open. Her face was a little anxious. I want to ask if you guys are going to the Transcendence continent or staying on Earth. Wang Xian looked at Xiao Yu and then at Feng Lingtian before asking directly. That brother-in-law of mine, I have long thought of this day. It is very difficult for me to step into a higher realm while I am on Earth. My lifespan is no more than 500 years. Unless I improve my strength, I will finally be able to reach a higher realm. Feng Lingtian, who was standing at the side, smiled. His eyes were shining. The great Tao of humanity was eternal life. In this environment on Earth, it was probably the peak for extraordinary experts to appear. If one wanted to step into a higher realm, the only way was to enter a higher world. Yes, brother. From now on, we will live in the Dragon Palace and fight side by side with the Dragon Palace. Xiao Yu seemed to have thought of this day as well. Without much hesitation, she said directly, All right. Wang Xian revealed a smile. Brother-in-law, when you enter the dragon pool later, I will teach you the cultivation method of the wind god dragon. Feng Lingtian revealed an excited expression and nodded quickly. Xiao Yu's willingness to enter the extraordinary continent with him was somewhat out of his expectations. However, this was the most perfect thing. Time passed day by day as batches of members of the Dragon Palace entered the dragon pool. The dragon blood was being consumed rapidly. Roar, 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 buzz, 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 buzz. A week after Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace, a roar that sounded like the end of the world was heard from the sky above the Dragon Palace. The roar was extremely loud, and it even spread across a radius of several thousand kilometers. All the humans who heard the roar had a look of shock in their eyes. A Kuin that is half a step into the void interpretation realm. With such power, it shouldn't be a problem for it to kill a first-level void interpretation realm expert. Looking at Xiaolon, who was more than 1,000 meters in the sky above the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian felt his scalp tingling. After consuming a large amount of dragon blood, including the corpse of the leader of the blood barbaric demon beast, its strength had directly increased to half a step into the void interpretation realm. It was invincible. Dragon King, we have already chosen the location of the Dragon Palace. At this time, Prime Minister Gui came to report. Good, then get ready to descend to the extraordinary continent. Chapter 1113, Level 3 Dragon Palace. In 7 days, the group of girls had settled everything on Earth. Xiao Yu and Feng Lingtian had also settled everything at home. Feng Lingtian's father, Ling Xiao, did not follow them. Looking at the dark passage, everyone in the Dragon Palace was excited. A fighting spirit was emitted from their bodies. At this moment, there were 800 demon monkeys of the Demon War Department standing behind Wang Xian. All of them had the strength of level 4 transcendence. The 800 members of the Thunder Department were also at level 4 transcendence. The 800 members of the Dragon Defense Department were all at level 4 transcendence. The 400 members of the Golden Swordfish clan of the Dragon Guards were all at level 4 transcendence, other than Ao Jian's 11 strong ones. There were 100 members of the 8-headed poison-making department who were at transcendent level 4. There were 220 dolphins, and all of them had reached transcendent level 5. There were 150 bizarre demons. The current bizarre demons could be called light spikes. This group of light spikes didn't include the bizarre demons who had followed Wang Xian previously. The 150 bizarre demons and the reserve members of the Dragon Spikes had all reached transcendent level 6. There were also 50 civil officials trained by Prime Minister Gui and 100 members in charge of the Dragon Palace. The members of the various races who had broken through the Dragon Gate had all chosen a direction of evolution to make up for the various legions of the Dragon Palace. There were a total of more than 3,500 members of the Dragon Palace. This was the full strength of the Dragon Palace. It was not strong, but it was definitely not weak. The main reason was that the Light Thorn tribe was the strongest. With 150 Light Thorns, they were able to assassinate an enemy at level 8 extraordinary. In addition to the 20 people who had reached level 7 extraordinary and Ao Yaozai, the strength of Wang Xian's subordinates was only slightly weaker than the Phoenix and Dragon Army. This is a new journey. We must let the Dragon Palace stand at the top of the extraordinary continent. Wang Xian was also extremely excited. We will fight for the Dragon King and the Dragon Palace to the death. The members of the Dragon Palace roared loudly. All right, Ao Yao Yao, Ao Jian, you guys lead the way. Everyone enter the passageway. Wang Xian waved his arm and said directly, Yes. Ao Yao Yao, Ao Jian, was the first to enter the passageway. Behind him, Prime Minister Gui, and the rest followed closely behind. One by one, the members of the Dragon Palace entered the passageway. In the end, Shu Qing, the girls, Xiao Yu, and the rest also entered the passageway. Move the Dragon Palace to the other end of the passageway. After everyone left, Wang Xian looked at the Dragon Palace and thought to himself, Ding! Congratulations to the host for conquering the ocean of a planet. In order to leave behind the race of the divine dragons on this planet, the system will establish a level 1 Dragon Palace to remain on Earth. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Wang Xian was stunned for a moment before a smile appeared on his face. This time, Wang Xian had left behind some foundations on Earth after entering the extraordinary mainland. Prime Minister Gui left behind a few civil servants and a few subordinates of the Dragon Palace on Earth. They taught the Water Tribe who had potential and nurtured them into strong individuals. They were continuously transported to the Dragon Palace on the extraordinary mainland. However, the system was even more considerate and left behind a level 1 Dragon Palace. Let's go! The huge Dragon Palace entered the extraordinary mainland through a passageway. A miniature version of a level 1 Dragon Palace appeared beside it. Wang Xian's body moved and entered the extraordinary mainland through the passageway. At the last moment, a gigantic object that was more than 1,000 meters long entered the passageway. Let's go! The Dragon Palace appeared out of thin air in the ocean of the extraordinary mainland. The gigantic Dragon Palace descended to the bottom of the ocean like a miracle. The Dragon Palace, with a radius of 20 kilometers, instantly attracted the attention of all the ferocious beasts and demonic beasts in the surroundings. Let's go over immediately. Wang Xian moved his body, and the members of the Dragon Palace entered the Dragon Palace in an instant. They were observing their surroundings. Boom! At this moment, the Dragon Palace suddenly trembled. The formation protecting the Dragon Palace was shattered. This is bad. A level 2 Dragon Palace can't withstand the attacks of the creatures of the extraordinary mainland. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. He transformed into a divine dragon and let out a dragon's roar. Xiao Lan! Lan Qingyue immediately shouted at Xiao Lan, who was following behind. Xiao Lan's body shook and a terrifying aura spread out in the surroundings instantly. The 5 giant squid that was attacking the Dragon Palace turned into a bloody mist and entered its body after being knocked lightly by it. Ao Yao! Your clan will be around to prevent other ferocious beasts from attacking. Let's go. Controlling the Dragon Palace, they flew quickly towards the base of the Dragon Palace. In fact, this was not the first time Wang Xian had come to the base of the Dragon Palace. He was no stranger to it. The Sea Mountain region was not far from the current Dragon Phoenix city. Mountain peaks stretched out from the sea, but this did not affect the migration of the Dragon Palace. On the contrary, this was the most suitable place in the vicinity. The sea here was more than 20,000 meters deep, which was close to the extraordinary mainland. There were no powerful fierce beasts or demon beasts around. However, even if it was close to the sea, a dragon palace with a circumference of 20 kilometers had traveled dozens of kilometers, which caused a huge sensation at the bottom of the sea. Fierce beasts swam over quickly. When they saw the Dragon Palace, their eyes were filled with greed. Some of the ferocious beasts flew towards the Dragon Palace recklessly and were killed by Ao Yao Yao and Ao Jian. I have to upgrade the Dragon Palace to level 3. Wang Xian looked at the level 2 Dragon Palace. The ferocious beasts from the supernatural continent could basically break through the array formation and enter the Dragon Palace directly. He looked at the items in his interspatial ring and smiled. It was not very difficult for the Dragon Palace to upgrade to level 3. The spiritual stones only required 100 million middle-grade spiritual stones, the array formation of the supernatural level, and various materials. When he was in Dragon Phoenix City, Wang Xian had collected the corpses of the ocean cultivators. The interspatial rings of the tens of thousands of soldiers were also in his hands. The items inside were sufficient to upgrade the level of the Dragon Palace. The materials required for the construction of the Dragon Palace have always been a benefit given by the system. Wang Xian was full of smiles as he looked ahead. The Sea Mountain region appeared in front of him. Buzz! Wang Xian moved the Dragon Palace to the center of the Sea Mountain region. It occupied a quarter of the entire Sea Mountain region. Boom! When the Dragon Palace landed at the bottom of the sea, it was perfectly compatible with the surrounding environment. The upgrade of the Dragon Palace requires 100 million middle-grade spirit stones and 10 extraordinary grade formations. Wang Xian looked at the requirements for the upgrade and took out the items from his interspatial ring. I found 10 extraordinary level formations. Do you want to merge them to upgrade the dragon formation? I found 10 million middle-grade spirit stones and 5 tons of extraordinary materials to upgrade the Dragon King Palace. One by one, the materials were taken out and quickly absorbed by the Dragon Palace. Ding! All the buildings in the Dragon Palace have been upgraded to level 3. The Dragon Palace has been upgraded. At this moment, the Dragon Palace began to undergo a tremendous change at the bottom of the sea, which was 20,000 meters below the sea. All the buildings were expanding at a terrifying speed. The ocean pacifying needle, which was more than 100 meters tall, slowly became more than 500 meters tall. The Dragon King Palace, which was about 2,000 meters wide, became 5 times bigger, and the 50-meter-long dragon throne became 100 meters long. The Dragon Palace was evolving rapidly. Chapter 1114, New Journey. Dragon Palace, Level 3, Dragon Lord. Wang Xian, Extraordinary 7th, Level 5, Elemental Divine Dragon. Buildings. Dragon King Palace. Level 3 raises the Dragon King's cultivation speed and recovery speed by 2,400%. Dragon Transformation Pool. Level 3, absorbing dragon blood can give birth to a dragon seed, dragon blood. 1,432. Dragon Gate. Level 3, a fish can only become a dragon after leaping through the Dragon Gate, effective against creatures below the Void Interpretation level. Ocean Pacifying Needle. Level 3, Pillar of the Dragon Palace. Set 500 kilometers of the Dragon Palace to be calm. Increase the combat strength of the members of the Dragon Palace by 300%. Dragon Cave. Level 3. With 6,000 Dragon Caves, the cultivation speed of the creatures in the Dragon Cave will be increased by 1,600%. Dragon Field. Level 3. Practice martial arts in the Dragon Field. Increase comprehension by 800%. Dragon Array. Level 3. Dragon Palace Array. Concealment, defense, gathering of spiritual energy, teleportation, detection. Spiritual items. Ancestral Tree. Level, able to return souls to creatures below transcendent level. Activate spiritual intelligence of creatures. Increases the speed of fire attribute cultivators by 200%. Attached, Dragon Transformation Pool to nurture dragon seeds. Current dragon seeds. Golden Swordfish, Thunder Shrimp, Demon Monkey, Strange Demon, Light Spike, Hydra, Dragon Turtle, Yiksha, Clam Girl, Golden Lobster. Boom, boom, boom. Waves of spiritual energy gathered toward the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace, which had only occupied a quarter of the sea mountain area, now completely covered the sea mountain area. Even on the transcendent continent, which was rich in spiritual energy, the upgrading of the Dragon Palace and the upgrading of the powerful buildings caused a storm within a few hundred kilometers. A large amount of spiritual energy gathered toward this direction. At this moment, the Dragon Palace was comparable to the top-notch Grotto Heaven Paradise on the transcendent continent. The spiritual chi in the Dragon King Palace was 24 times that of the outside world. What kind of concept was this? 1 day of cultivation here was equivalent to 24 days in the outside world. Even the Dragon Cave where the members of the Dragon Palace lived had 16 times the spiritual chi of the outside world. This terrifying enhancement was definitely a top-notch cultivation place on the transcendent continent. Furthermore, a Dragon Palace that had advanced to level 3 would have a formation that could withstand the attacks of creatures below the Void Interpretation level. Under such concealment, only experts at the Void Interpretation level would be able to discover the existence of the Dragon Palace. Creatures at the Transcendence level would not be able to discover the Dragon Palace at all. Compared to a level 2 Dragon Palace, the effect of a level 3 Dragon Palace had doubled. Wang Xian revealed an excited expression. Prime Minister Gue and the other members of the Dragon Palace were also filled with excitement. With the improvement of the Dragon Palace, their cultivation speed would be doubled. Even if they didn't have any resources, all the members of the Dragon Palace would be able to advance to the insightful Void tier after 10 years of dedicated cultivation. After all, they possessed the bloodline of the Divine Dragon. 10 years of cultivation here was equivalent to 160 years of cultivation in the outside world. What dense spiritual energy! Oh my God! Feng Lingtian felt the spiritual energy here, and his body trembled slightly. Damn it! He had a bright future following his brother-in-law. Just by cultivating in the Dragon Palace, he was able to reach a realm that he could not imagine. This is our starting point and the beginning of a new journey for the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian floated in the sky above the Dragon Palace and looked at the Dragon Palace with a circumference of 80 kilometers. His gaze landed on the members of the Dragon Palace as he said in a deep voice, "It won't be long before our Dragon Palace will stand on this continent and become the master of this ocean." Prime Minister Gui said confidently, "Prime Minister Gui, organize it. First, guarantee the safety of the area within 1,000 kilometers. Then, we will formulate a development plan." Wang Xian ordered Prime Minister Gui, "It's the Dragon King." Prime Minister Gui nodded his head heavily and immediately organized it. They had just arrived at the extraordinary mainland, so they had to understand their surroundings and make plans for the future development of the Dragon Palace. The Dragon Palace has changed so much that it covers an area of 80 kilometers. Even Little Blue can enter the Dragon Palace. And this ocean is so deep. It's more than 20,000 meters deep. It's so shocking. The 6 girls looked around in shock, their eyes full of joy. The Dragon Palace, which had been upgraded to level 3, was even more magnificent. However, with such a large area, it seemed that there were fewer members in the Dragon Palace. The area of 80 kilometers is already bigger than Dragon Phoenix City. Moreover, Dragon Phoenix City can't be compared to my Dragon Palace at all. If Feng Wan were to see this place, I wonder if she would be extremely envious. As Wang Xian thought of this, a smile appeared on his face as he brought a few girls around. The Dragon Palace enveloped over 1,000 mountain peaks. Under the modification of the system, these mountain peaks turned into dragon caves directly. The dragon field was divided into 2 regions, which could accommodate more than 100,000 people cultivating at the same time. The entire Dragon Palace was like a miracle. Wang Xian could guarantee that even the imperial capitals of the empires were not as magnificent as the Dragon Palace. They were also not as powerful as the Dragon Palace. Buzz. Suddenly, the sky above the Dragon Palace shook and an image came from afar. It was a creature that was emitting a green glow. He looked very similar to a human, but the difference was that he had 2 green horns on his head. He had a pair of mystical green eyes. There were 3 red dots connected to each other in his eyes. He looked extremely mystical. His body size was similar to that of a human. His arms were much longer than a human's. They were extremely slender and were covered in green scales. This is the effect of the detection formation after the upgrade of the Dragon Palace. It can detect any threatening creatures within a 50-kilometer radius of the Dragon Palace. This creature that is similar to a human should be a type of demonic beast. Furthermore, it should be in existence at the insightful void tier. Wang Xian had a solemn expression on his face. This green humanoid creature had a bow on its back and was extremely agile. His eyes were looking in the direction of the Dragon Palace in disbelief. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, more than 300 similar creatures appeared in the scouting of the Dragon Palace. One could clearly see the difference between men and women. If not for the color of their bodies, the horns on their heads, and their slender arms, they were almost the same as humans. This is a group of demonic beasts. Their strength is not weak, and they have an existence at the void interpretation level. They have discovered the Dragon Palace. They might not be friendly. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Dragon King, there's an invasion. All the members of the Dragon Palace are ready to fight. The enemy might have an expert at the void interpretation level. However, we have Xiaolon and Ao Yao. With the enhancement of the Dragon Palace, we can deal with the enemy. At this moment, Prime Minister Gui flew over and reported to Wang Xian hurriedly. Let's go out. Let's see what the enemy wants to do first. Once they show any hostility, leave no one alive. Wang Xian nodded and flew toward the west gate. At this moment, under the detection of the array formation of the Dragon Palace, the first demonic beast that arrived was standing on the ground. He crouched on the ground carefully and looked at the majestic underwater city in shock. Behind him, the clansmen carefully laid on the ground and moved forward without making a sound. Chapter 11:15 Eye of the Wind, Arrow of the Wind. Dragon King, this should be a race of demonic beasts. Furthermore, they are not weak. At the west gate of the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian looked ahead. Behind him, a group of members of the Dragon Palace followed behind him. Other than the leaders of the strange demon clan and Prime Minister Gui, most of the subordinates of the Dragon Palace had the strength of a level 5 extraordinary being. With the divine dragon bloodline, they were able to unleash the combat strength of level 6 extraordinary. With the enhancement of the array formation of the Dragon Palace, their strength could be tripled and they could unleash the strength of level 7 extraordinary. With over 3,000 warriors of the Dragon Palace, in addition to Shaolan's strength, the strength of the Dragon Palace could be considered a powerful race of demonic beasts at the bottom of the sea. Wang Xian nodded his head and looked at the group of demonic beasts that were carefully sneaking over. Get ready to welcome them. Wang Xian walked out slowly and stared ahead. Hide in the surroundings. Prime Minister Gui waved his hand at the group of members of the Dragon Palace behind him and ordered. Yes. Ao Qitian, Ao Qi, and Ao Jian immediately led their subordinates and hid behind the surrounding mountains. The strange monster clan immediately disappeared. Under the detection of the array formation, 300 green figures with longbows on their backs slowly approached. The figure at the front looked around vigilantly. A huge building suddenly appeared at the bottom of the sea. Even if he was a profound void tier creature, he was still extremely fearful. What kind of power could directly build a group of buildings at the bottom of the sea? Such a vast amount of spiritual energy is gathering here. This must be a paradise. If we can cultivate here, our Windeye clan will definitely be able to improve quickly. The green eyes of the figure at the front flickered as he looked at the sky, flickering with an unknown luster. Oh my God! What a magnificent building! What's that pillar? It's emitting golden light. It's too terrifying. How could such a majestic underwater city appear out of thin air? At the back, all the creatures of the Windeye clan were staring at this place in shock, with green light flashing in their eyes. Although their strength had not reached the profound void tier, their powerful ocular arts allowed them to see through the formation. Looking at the golden ocean-pacifying divine needle that was hundreds of meters tall in front of them, their faces were filled with shock. We've been discovered. When the creature at the front saw Prime Minister Wang Xiange and the rest who were standing in front of the west gate of the Dragon Gate, he was slightly shocked. Oh, they saw us from a distance of 10 kilometers. It seems that this demonic beast race also possesses ocular skills. Wang Xian and the demonic beast looked at each other. He could tell that the other party had already seen him. May I know why all of you have come to my Dragon Palace? Wang Xian asked the creature in a deep voice. The creature that was lying on the ground hesitated for a moment before standing up. The group of people from the Windeye clan behind him also stood up when they saw Wang Xian. They frowned and looked ahead. Leader, An aged creature from the Windeye clan walked forward. He looked at the leader at the front and said, Let's go and take a look. This underwater city that suddenly appeared is too close to our lair. We have to know if it's a friend or foe. The creature, standing at the front, had a thoughtful look on his face. After hesitating for a moment, he walked towards the front. The group of people following behind did not hesitate at all. They followed behind and walked towards the direction of the Dragon Palace. The group of creatures from the Windeye clan at the back took down the longbow on their back. They scanned their surroundings vigilantly. Looking at the Windeye clan, who was walking towards the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian sized them up from head to toe. A demon beast at the void interpretation level should be at the first level of the void interpretation level. There were 3 to 4 half-step void interpretation level demon beasts. More than a dozen of them were at Transcendent Level 9, and the rest of them were all at least at Transcendent Level 6. The closer they got, the more shocked the people from the Phoenix Eye clan were. The leader, who was walking at the front, was also sizing up Prime Minister Wang Xiangue and the rest. His eyes were filled with astonishment. "We are the Wind-Eye Demon Beast clan. We are located more than 100 kilometers away from here. Just now, we sensed a large amount of spiritual energy gathering here. We are here to investigate. What is your race?" The leader of the Wind-Eye clan stared at Prime Minister Wang Xiangue and the rest cautiously. Then he stopped 3 kilometers away. The people of the Wind-Eye clan behind him looked around. The Wind-Eye Demon Beast clan. Wang Xian looked at them with a twinkle in his eyes. "We are from the Ocean Dragon clan. This will be our territory in the future. I wonder if you are interested in joining our dragon clan." Prime Minister Gue was carrying a turtle shell on his back. He sized them up and narrowed his eyes slightly. Prime Minister Gue's words made the leader of the Wind-Eye clan alert. He looked at Prime Minister Gue and then at Wang Xian. "Dragon Palace? What does it have to do with the Dragon Clan in the Sea of Dragons?" He asked them with a twinkle in his eyes. "It doesn't matter. I wonder if your Wind-Eye clan is interested in joining our Dragon Palace," Prime Minister Gue said as he took 2 steps forward slowly. He looked at Wang Xian and said, "This is the Dragon King of our Dragon Palace. If you join the Dragon Palace, you will become citizens of the Dragon Palace and live in the Dragon Palace. Our Dragon Palace is a huge paradise. Cultivating in it is many times better than cultivating in the outside world," Prime Minister Gue said slowly as the turtle shell on his back shimmered. "I'm not interested." The leader of the Wind-Eye clan shook his head slowly. "Then do you guys want to be our guests?" Prime Minister Gue invited them with a smile on his face. "No need. We are just here to take a look." The leader of the Wind-Eye clan shook his head warily. Wang Xian looked at Prime Minister Gue beside him and smiled. This Prime Minister Gue was really cunning. It was obvious that he wanted to subdue the Wind-Eye clan. At the very least, he wanted to keep them here. Survival at the bottom of the sea. The strong preyed on the weak. If the Dragon Palace wanted to develop rapidly, the only way was to kill and subdue the ferocious beasts. There was no other way. On the way to the throne, there was no mercy. There was only fighting. "Everyone, since you are here, don't leave this place for unnecessary trouble." The turtle shell on Prime Minister Turtle's back trembled slightly. The Demon War Division, Thunder Division, and Golden Swordfish Clan, who were hiding behind the surrounding mountains, were all standing on the mountains. Roar! A soft sound was heard. At the position of the Dragon Gate, Xiaolan, which was more than 1,000 meters in size, swam out slowly and hovered above Wang Xian and the rest. Her 2 eyes were bigger than a house. Her gray eyes were staring at everyone from the Wind-Eye tribe. "Hiss! What giant beast is this?" 3 kilometers away, the expressions of the creatures from the Wind-Eye tribe changed drastically. Just the visual impact of the giant beast, which was more than 1,000 meters in size, shocked them greatly. The expression of the Wind-Eyed race's leader also changed slightly. His eyes revealed a cold expression. "You are even more cunning than humans."